Welcome, everybody, to the Updraft by Predator. You're joining me, Illustrado. I'm your host today. My panel's coming on in just a second, but this is the second day of the Valorant Challengers Philippines Stage number 2. We've said goodbye already to 3 teams. We're about to say goodbye to 3 more today. But today, we're saying hello for the meantime. Hello to all of you, and thank you to all our sponsors who's made this happen. Of course, thanks to PPGL, the largest multi-game esports league in the Philippines, organized by Mineski Philippines and Globe Telecom. And of course, hashtag reinvent exciting victories in Valorant with the new, the steampunk the steampunk mage punk uh, bundle. There you go. I got the word finally. Words are a bit tough today. Get yours now on Coda Shop with Globe. And of course, thank you to Predator, our official PC and gaming laptop partner. Predator, hashtag summon your strength. And of course, Globe Virtual Hangouts, thank you to you guys too, because they will reinvent esports and bring it to a whole new level. Let's get hashtag OL together now as Virtual Hangouts Go Esports brings events and programs like no other, starting with an apprenticeship program by the pros, led by the pros, stream takeovers, and local and international tournaments. Download the Globe One app and click on the Virtual Hangouts tab to get updated on the latest happenings on Globe Virtual Hangouts. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, to officially follow the pages of PPGL. That's facebook.com/PPGLGG for the Filipino side. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/C/PPGLGG for Filipino and English. And of course, check us out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/PPGL_VCTPH. And do not forget, we also have a TikTok where we post a bunch of other stuff. A lot of things going on. TikTok is at HelloPPGL. So that's enough of that for the meantime, but let's get right down and jiggy with it. Again, I'm Illustrado, your host today. This is the Updraft, but this isn't a one-man show. I got some amazing panelists. I got some amazing friends to come and talk about the series here with me. Trix, Viminal, and Ling. How are you guys doing today?
Doing absolutely great. I'm excited because it's Hashira versus GXR today. So I'm excited really to see how that game is going to pan out.
If yesterday was an indicator of what's to come for today and tomorrow for the grand finals, well then, we're in for a bumpy ride, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, for me, I've set a lot of expectations for the semifinals, or rather, the teams that are going to be competing for this round alone. I mean, you've seen on the first day a lot of different variation of the team composition, and of course, in terms of playstyle. So I wonder what else should the teams have in store for us.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one here. GXR, Hashira. This is a matchup that we've been waiting for. Personally, obviously, I've been waiting for quite a while. And this is going to be one of the exciting tales that we have, that we will see today. But we have more than that actually coming on right now. If you want to know what other matches are going to be taking place today, here's the match schedule. We're going to pull it up for you guys, starting it off with GXR Hashira, and then it's going to be followed up by Bren versus Empire. So yeah, these 2 matches already looking to start the day off hot. And whoever wins, GXR Hashira, will take on somebody called the 6045 Pirates, who are a little bit of, I'd say, a wild card in this tournament here. Now, Ling, I'll go straight to you on this. Man, Pirates, they're looking so good, but they got to go up against GXR and Hashira next round.
Well, either way, I would definitely see Pirates could have something in store, regardless, because it's just a matter on how well this one-dimensional play that you're trying to do could work in this level of competition. You'd see them, and I would constantly complain just by watching out their games, is that there really isn't much that they could offer, and I really do hope that there's something that you could switch up in terms of their play style, because relying on their games with Fireside alone could be a huge enough responsibility or a burden that could basically throw them off in the series.
Yeah, but before I get to that any further, though, let's dig a little bit deep. We're going to touch on that really quickly later on. But for the meantime, let's focus on the first recap of the day. We're going to give you guys a little bit of a recap of what happened on the previous day. The first one was Bren versus SE Atlas. And that definitely did not go the way we expected it. Very much 2 overtimes at the very start right there. Start off what was basically the longest day of VCT in the Philippines that we've ever had. What was essentially hours and hours of broadcast and just so many fun Valorant games. Tricks. Bren versus Atlas, what were your thoughts on it?
Honestly, I just didn't know what kind of headspace Bren was in. I felt they weren't taking the right duels, the right aggression. they were caught off guard a little too often. I'm not sure whether it was just maybe they were still, on their own loading screens for their tactical sides of the game, or whether it was really just SE Atlas doing an amazing performance, because I think both came as a factor to that game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to that real quick. The matchup between Bren versus SE Atlas, I feel like it wasn't. It was a little bit of a combination of multiple factors, a cocktail,
Mhm.
if you will. I think SE Atlas they definitely overperformed while Bren underperformed here, and it just goes to show that SE Atlas a team that we should definitely be more and more aware of. Viminal, you know
Yeah.
these guys. You know these guys like from way, way, way back. They're
Mhm.
starting to find their form. They're doing a lot better lately. The match yesterday, is it a good sign of Bren? Is it a good sign for Atlas?
I would definitely say that it's a good sign for Atlas. They've definitely shown so much growth over the series and the performance that we saw during that series, defying our expectations, to be quite honest. And then, we had an epic game over here at Icebox, 14-16 of Bry, 35 kills against the Bren Squadron. I mean, since when does that ever happened before in the local scene? I think this is pretty much unprecedented in terms of scale. And this was the tale for the rest of the series, right until the third game, which we'll see later on, in which Bren kind of just woke up and then gave us the sort of Bren experience we've come to expect.
Well, to add on to that, I would definitely see, looking at how Brent performed against Atlas, I see them having this effort to stray away from the jet based compositions that they're used to do. And with that being said, I see a lot more struggles happening with their main duelist, which is Dubstep, I have to say, which didn't really have that much time to shine compared to him performing as a jet, but did try to make his mobility agent work still with their agent composition, even though they're going to be playing on this hard reset for this week.
Yeah, I agree. And it was all about the duelists yesterday. Yoshi had his moments as well. Bry, they swapped him out to in a different role, which I think was a little bit interesting. I think I'd like to see him more in the duelist. Maybe them start to run a double duelist lineup for Atlas. Maybe that might work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Coupled with Tim being on the battle stage, it's a very deadly dynamic, very deadly duo that we're starting to see here. However, for Bren, it was really more about Borkum yesterday, who was shining. And that's just part of the magic of Bren, isn't it? The fact that they just kind of pop off individually and sometimes as a team. Yesterday, as a team, not so much, but this time at least Borkum did step up, didn't it?
He definitely did. It was a great performance. Honestly, I think the Atlas lineup does work the way it is right now, but yeah, I would switch up Brian maybe for the duelist because he's just so good on it.
I mean, it's simple enough. Mathematics: 1+1 equals win. 1+1 equals win. If he's good on a duelist, man, just let him shine on it. The Omen did a little bit, but I think he was much more effective when he was dropping 35 kills, 36 kills in the game on the raids. I just the numbers don't lie, Viminal. Would you say you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, we from the small sample size that we saw from yesterday, Bry just absolutely popped off on the duelist, and I kind of agree with what you said. Maybe they should experiment with a double duelist composition. Maybe that will work out better for them. Not to discount Kakarot's efforts on the duelist, not to say that he can't carry the role of the duelist all by himself, but I think there's no harm in trying to switch it up, see what happens. And over here, we saw, unfortunately, the end to that series, Atlas just absolutely falling short on that last game. They kind of ran out of gas, I'd say. They put up such a good fight during the first two games, but can't say the same for the third one.
Yeah, unfortunately so there. But SE Atlas, they have a lot going their way. And I know you have a lot on your mind about Atlas themselves. Ling, what do you got for us?
Well, besides that, us putting a highlight on Bribe not being able to play as the main duelist, I would like to actually point out one of the things that Atlas tried to do, which is them playing the Viper on Icebox. Not a huge fan, especially when not a lot of people are quite familiar in dealing with this problem. And this is where we actually see them, rather Bren posing this as a threat, completely questioning their plays. And this is something that they're not fully accustomed to, which actually could be a factor. It actually is a factor rather on why the games went that long, and rather them having to actually solve out this and try to figure out to work their way around a kit that they are obviously not well accustomed to.
Another series that went the distance, that went the extra mile here. Empire versus Valkyrie, the
Mm.
second best of three series today. That was also one hell of a fight, one hell of an exciting thing to watch here. Valkyrie almost making it through. Feel like
Yeah.
they had all the tools, they had the utility, they had really good teamwork. Where did they fall short here, Viminal?
Yeah, coming in here from Wildcard, they started off really strong. Empire experimented with the new lineup, didn't really pan out during the first game. Wildcard, they showed a lot of promise, especially in their agent comps, that sort of was bridging the gap between local and regional play, which was something we took note of. However, it seems like in terms of the micro decision making, it's just that Empire had an upper hand in terms of that. But in terms of on the macro scale of things, both teams really knew what they wanted to do. It's just that Empire won on those little decisions that matter the most.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And going back to your point about bridging that gap, I love seeing Sky as an agent used more now in the Philippine tournaments.
Yeah.
She has so much potential as an agent, and there's so much that you can get from her kit. I just hope that teams will understand how to utilize her better, not
Mhm.
just for intel, because of course, the flashes and the trailblazer, but also for safe aggression. Because I find that the Philippines really shines with the aggressive plays, but it's the discipline that's lacking in so many teams.
100%
I'm
agree.
gonna echo your statement right there, Viminal. The saltiness, or in Filipino terms, the asim, is something that we really can't shake. It just happens to be one of the things that define the not just the Philippine way of playing, but also the ASEAN way of playing. Why do you think that is? Why are we like this, Viminal?
I don't know, man. I mean, it extends to other titles as well. There's just so much passion in the region, I guess. But it's a very tough question to answer. It's just what we're used to playing.
I mean,
What-
there's I think a way that you can hone this or like harness this power, because there's a lot of teams that are like this. I mean, I think if you take this way of playing and then you elevate it to the maximum level, then you get like phase, then you get phase clan with like Smeaging, and that's basically how it is. That might be something the Philippines could explore. What do you think, Ling? Should we just, as a country, just keep playing ultra aggressive and just have that defined as their playstyle? Because countries and regions, they have their own playstyles. Maybe this is something that we can embrace.
You're basically right about different regions or countries having their own playstyle that they're known for. But I do hope that here in our country that they would definitely add a few more layers in terms of like both on your attacking and of course on towards the defending. Yes, there's aggression is good, but at the same time there really has to be some point of moderation to it. And with that being said, I really want to see rather more structure. It's not just you dry picking on sides, but us rather the players themselves, the duels being able to shine by having that extra padding that would not even cost so much after taking on those duels, which are not supposed to be worth it on their end.
I love seeing different styles of play. You look at Korea and sort of like Bren, how maybe they play very disciplined, very structured, very set play and execution heavy. And then you look at NA, who runs around and shoots people with some structure. And then there's EU that just does EU things. And then, there's Brazil. I'm not even going to touch on that. But, everybody has their own playstyle that I think we can sort of find our own identity in the region. But for now, it seems a little bit scattered. Like every team has their own inspiration. Every team is drawing from a different well. And I think that's what we're starting to see today. Which is why some teams are better against others, while they might lose to equally strong teams. And I feel like the identity of Filipino Valorant still has a long way to go before we say, okay, this is how we play the game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I just feel that the Philippine Valorant scene, they shouldn't be scared to challenge the norms. And I love that when we came to stage 2, when we're coming into stage 2 with all of these teams, some we're seeing again, some that are debuting with their lineups. But it's great to see that they've challenged their own system, to say that we're good at this and we want to do this, so let's try it out. And they've done it and they're doing it well. And a lot of these games being close games are just telling of how much the Philippine scene is improving.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we're
go ahead.
definitely on the upswing. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, it's a very interesting conversation that you guys opened up here, because in many ways it sort of goes back to Filipino culture in general, in which we are a melting pot of cultures and we're so influenced by the West. We're also influenced by surrounding Asian nations. So that kind of reflects in our playstyle, in which we're sort of in an identity crisis, that it's just that we're borrowing from so many different styles.
Mm. Different styles, but one thing that completely stood out is you mentioned a while ago about duelists, and this is where we actually see Asian teams, particularly in the Philippines, like having these choice of agents where it actually matters. Teams are putting a lot more value to agent kits, particularly their duelists, that could put more use in terms of zoning out positions of the map. And this is where we're actually going to be seeing Raze being able to shine. You'd see a lot of offensive abilities on her, which is kind of weighs her a lot more over than Jet. Jet being known for her ability to create space, but the
Mm.
same thing could be applied on Raze, but with a better, with rather better sense in terms of what she could be more.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all the different play styles here. Maybe we could be like, you find the best duelist from I don't know, the Philippines or Southeast Asia, the best utility players from Korea, stuff like that. The best operas in EU, and maybe we'll find out where our meta truly helps us grow. But speaking of growing, a team that has grown a lot, the Pirates, they faced off against Kadiliman, a team that wanted to so desperately break through this mold of them being identified as a stream team, but unfortunately took a loss against the very solid looking Pirates, 6045 Pirates here.
Mm.
What went on in this match? Linginal. That's
Liminal.
Excuse, Ling, and then I guess Viminal.
Okay.
What do you guys think went on here? What happened? Pirates, they just looked so dominant against KDM, who were strong aim wise, but didn't really have much on top of that.
Well, the parents being known for having a mechanically gifted player, which is Fire Saijin, which I would not even discount how much of a fact that he completely shined in the entire series, putting out to the 2-0 standing. And yes, he's great on his own, but imagine how easily that could be countered out in terms of them facing a team that could play out their utilities a lot better compared to how Kadiliman did. They're playing to Pirates element, which is going on for aim duels, and they have basically baited themselves out to force out those engagement. And this is where we actually see them not exactly in their best suit, in their best form. Because if you're going to be talking about aim duels, I would definitely say Pirates is definitely known for that. It's not worth it. It's not wise to them to take on to their element.
100% agree. Kadiliman played into Pirates game yesterday and they got served big time. Fire Sergeant absolutely popping off, as well as the rest of the Pirates squadron. And honestly, a lot of us were expecting Kadiliman to do much better than that. The momentum was on their side. They came off a really hot game against OG in which they won unexpectedly. So we were kind of thinking, or perhaps believing into the fact that Kadaliman has grown stronger to the point that they can be able to play other styles rather than just relying on pure aim duels. But that clearly was not the case, and Pirates was able to exploit that during yesterday's series.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree 100% here. Trix, you look like you have something to say about this. What was your impression?
I really like how I'm seeing a lot more teams play aggressively on the defender side, and Pirates really did that, especially on Ascent. You saw Fire Saiyajin just pushing out on B main. But I think with Kadaliman, I felt that because they were a streamer team, they wanted to play a little safer than they usually do, and I feel like that didn't help them. Because I see that Kadaliman has so many strengths, but I feel that they restrained themselves and they definitely held themselves back rather than saying, okay, I want to take this duel, so help me take this duel because I think I can win it. And with that kind of attitude and confidence, I felt Kadaliman definitely could have done better. But, Pirates with that Fire Saiyajin just really dominating the map control.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely showing a lot of strength, but unfortunately, that strength led to naught as the Pirates took a victory and they're going into the semifinals tomorrow. What a great performance from the 6045 Pirates, who are now plundering their way into the semis, getting closer and closer to the grand finals. But we'll talk about the stats that we're seeing currently. Pirates, what a close game that we saw yet again. Another one that almost went the extra mile. We almost went to game number 3,
Yeah.
but it seems like Pirates had the final touches, the finesse that was required rather, to finish off these matches in style. What do you think that X factor was? I'll ask you, Viminal. What do you
Mm.
think it was that really truly separated them from Kadaliman?
Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see that they did their homework, especially how they control the map here in this Icebox game. You see Nico on that Sky, Kira on that Viper, and then compared to Kadiliman, which is pretty much more of a conventional lineup that we're used to seeing pretty much on the ladder as well. So you can tell that Pirates really did their homework on what strategies are most effective on Icebox. And during the first half of this game, they built up such a huge lead that while Kadaliman was able to come back during the second half, the damage was done. It was just too insurmountable of a lead for them to be able to come back. There was too little room for error in the end.
Yeah, we just took a quick look right there. Pirates, they had a very, very good idea of how to handle Kadaliman. The execution was just flawless as well. But we still have a lot of other matches to talk about. Now, before we wrap this part up, I'm going to ask you, Ling, real quick. I'm going to go to you. What was that finesse? What was that final touch that Pirates, what was the edge that they had over Kadaliman?
Well, one downside rather that I see for Kadaliman and what actually happened that Pirates exploited on is that they definitely saw a lot of individualistic plays that could have been something more. You met Trix mentioned a while ago that trading could definitely help, but this where actually see Pirates having this set of pace that Kadaliman just wasn't comfortable catching up to, and that's what actually went down.
Yeah, agree with you. And I really think that 6045 Pirates, they can go the extra mile. They can get to the
Yeah.
grand finals if they can keep this play style up, if they can keep that consistency up, and if Fireside Agent keeps hitting his shots. But enough about them for now. Let's talk about the journey, where exactly we are in this current meta, and not the meta, excuse me, this current tournament. Day number 2 is where we are at. Here's the bracket. As we just saw 3 teams getting knocked out, 3 more teams will be gone by the end of this day. But we're starting off with Bren versus Empire. That's the first one. And the way they ended up there was Bren happening in a 2-1 versus Atlas, Empire in a 2-1 versus Walcore. Also had Pirates go 2-0 against Kadiliman, but this is where the real action starts. Now, Bren versus Empire, that could be a straightforward map. Let's not beat around the bush here. It could be a
Hmm.
2-0 that's looking likely, but we were proved very, very wrong about this yesterday. We could see an upset. But what about this next one? Hashira GXR. That's definitely going to be something to look out for. I won't linger on that too long. I'm just going to tease you guys a bit because we do have to get into the actual match very soon. But for the meantime, I want to talk to you guys, the viewers at home. We got something very special for you. We are giving away 1,500 plus worth of Valorant points. And in order for you to do that, in order for you to be the lucky winners, it's very, very easy. Follow these instructions right down below. 1 to 4. Like and follow the PPGL Facebook page. Like and share the stream with a caption of the team that you are rooting for. Use the hashtags, and we'll be selecting 10 winners at the very end of the day to win 1,500 plus Valorant points. We will be announcing the winners at the end of the stream, so you gotta stay all the way to the end. But if you ask me, hey, Illustrado, where can I watch the streams? Well, we've got you covered on that too. English, Filipino, we got it. So if you want to watch on Facebook, that's going to be the Filipino stream on facebook.com/ppglgg, or that's bit.ly/ppgl-yt. English happens here on twitch.tv/ppgl_VCTPH or bit.ly/ppglyt. And I repeat this, all of the panel sessions are strictly in English, and they're going to be happening on both. Excuse me, both. Ooh, lunch coming up right there. Both panel discussions will be happening in English, so make sure you tune in there. But that's enough of that right now. We're going to be wrapping up that pre-show. That was the updraft here. We're continuing now with day number 2 and the matchup that we've all been waiting for. Hashira, GXR. A team like GXR, let's start with them for the meantime. An incredibly strong team. Archangel is who they used to be. They brought in a few players, reformed with members, the stars of Dreamfire, looking to coagulate and just become a dominant force in the scene with this lineup right now. I'm going to start with you, Tricks, on this one. Ching, Eman, Georgie, you got Carl and Johan. Also have Blast here. What do you think of this lineup? What are they bringing to the table?
I think Georgie and Emon definitely noted from Dreamfire because of their amazing firepower and confidence to just take the duels. The confidence that the two players had in Dreamfire, and I mentioned this before, although great, lacked discipline and polish. So I'm excited to see how they will perform today and if they will actually blend with these three Archangel players. And formidable players at that, Ching especially on that jet. I hope to see them bring the best out of their new teammates, but I'm wondering also what kind of new insight Georgie and Eman will bring to these, old school decorated Archangel players.
Yeah, with Viminal, I'm gonna straight up ask you right
Yeah.
here. They got 5 aimers. They got 5 heavy aimers on their team. Do you think this is a hindrance? Do you think this will stop them performing well, or do you think this is a benefit?
That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was sort of debating within myself, like, okay, you got 5 hot shots on this team. How are they going to mesh well together? But when you dig deeper into this lineup, you got a mix of players with a lot of experience. You got a mix of players who are new to the scene, and I think they're going to balance each other out and sort of create this really cool chemistry that we're not used to seeing in the local scene. So I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to see how they grow together. It could be in a bit of a toss-up, I'd say.
Definitely. I think it's very 50-50. I'm excited to see what they got. You got really strong players and some veterans as well. Maybe this will be the perfect blend. But speaking of other teams, we have to bring up Hashira now. And obviously a team that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm very excited to see them coming up here, perform up against GXR. We got the lineup right now, the 6-man lineup: Hatred, Envy, Jeremy, Rabbit, 2766. Of course, we have Amix, who is the 6th man. He's not on the screen right now, but he's definitely there. He will be playing, not necessarily as just the 6th man, but more of a player that that Hashira subs in every now and then. Ling, I'll go to you. I'm going to ask you about Hashira. How are you feeling about this roster? What are your thoughts on them going into GXR?
Well, straight up looking at their lineup right now, I would definitely see that there's a lot of possibilities, rather raw talent and a lot of creativity being drawn out here, especially when they have the proper guidance to actually lead them to this victory. Might have to say they have every chance that they could take, every chance that they could take to take everyone out of the opposing team. And with that being said, with the statistics that shown on the run in the qualifiers, you'd see them evolve a lot better because I might have to say that attacking side postmans were not exactly in the strongest suit, but looking at how the run went, might have to say they definitely did improve on that a lot.
Yeah, I think that also when it comes to Hashira, I've talked about this before. They have so much potential, and also because I consider them to be the newer players, like younger bloods, and I think because of that, there's so much potential there for them to create whatever they want with the team and to dictate how they want the team to grow. So, as Ling mentioned, with the right kind of guidance and the right kind of environment for those kinds of young players, it could make them the best players.
I agree. Just so much potential on this roster. It's a bit of a mix between veterans and the young kids, the young guns on the block now. But let's take a closer look, zone into the 2 people that will step up and face off at noon. 11 steps until we duel. The head-to-head is now coming up here. 2 players. We're looking at Rabbit and Johan. If I'm not mistaken, the 2 IGLs of both squads here.
Mhm.
Both of them play Omen. And, Rabbit, not as strong in terms of the ACS right now, but that's because we know for a fact that he's hard shot calling every single game, but has been stepping up, has been performing a lot better in the previous weeks. Mind you, these are notes from the previous run on Valorant Challenger, so these might be, take these stats with a grain of salt.
I definitely think it's a little rare, in my opinion, to see two Omen players as the MVPs. But I guess just to be able to say that how much they control the map and how they're really able to frag and possibly clutch for their teammates with the smokes and the paranoias and all of that.
Yeah, Veminal, what are your thoughts on this? It's going to be a tough match, I think, for both of these squads.
Oh yeah.
A testing ground for GXR and another hurdle to overcome for Hashira to push their limits. What's going on in these players' minds?
I don't know. It's going to be pretty hard to tell because I think this is going to be one of the closest series that we're ever going to come across this entire weekend. And if those stats were telling of anything, you can see how close those stats were to each other. But then again, Rabbit going to be focusing on those shot calls. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to keep fragging out as well. Johan being a solid backbone for his team. I think they're just going to stick to what they know, to what they do best, and hopefully they don't experiment on anything new too much.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a close one. Before we go into any more, though, we have to find out where our Coliseum will be. These gladiators will be fighting in this blood feud, duel to the death here. It's going to be first starting in the very first matchup here today in the quarterfinals on Bind, followed by Haven, followed by Split. The pick right now, Bind picked by GXR, Haven picked by Hashira, and the decider will be on Split. Ling, what are your thoughts on these picks right now? I'm very interested to see what you think about how this draft went.
Well, I'm just a bit surprised how Icebox is no longer like one of like the staple, rather the standard picks coming out from the teams, because compared to day one, it has been very eminent that a lot of teams quite favor and testing out their new strats against the local scene. And with that being seen on towards their map picks, Bind pretty much standard and as expected for GXR, a team that is known for being quite efficient in their aim themselves. I want to see them like apply a lot more elements, especially when they have this huge role swaps in their roster.
I'm excited to see this kind of map pick actually. We've seen Icebox come up a lot in Ascent, but to see Bind Haven and Split, I feel going back to like OG picks, it's nice to see that.
Well, it's time to delay no longer. We're just about to get ready and go into the game itself. But before we do that, it's time. I got to ask you guys, start with you, Tricks, predictions on this match.
2-1 for GXR.
All right, I'm gonna go next, guys. Now, mind you, this is a really tough decision. A lot of firepower on one side, a lot of firepower on the other. But when it comes down to it, I think that Hashira has a slight edge in terms of creativity. So I'm gonna go 2-1 in favor of HSR.
Well, for my decision, I guess it's gonna be a 2-0, just to make things spicier and might actually say enable Hashira players. I really do hope the series do come out to that, and yeah,
Wait, 2
reliable
to
teams,
0
reliable
Hashira or who?
or 2-0 Jix. Sorry, I mean, yeah.
Okay, all right. 2 to 0 for 2 to 0 GXR for Ling. I'm just gonna say I think it has to be a 2 to 0 for Hashira.
Oh no.
Just because this is the way the cookie crumbles, man. And honestly, a lot of the plays that have been apparently meretricious for the side of Hashira look to have more value and substance nowadays. But I shan't dilly-dally any longer. I'm going to stay on this panel no more, as I have to leave it all up to the hands of the very capable casters. Whether you're in English or Filipino, we got you covered. So casters, what you got?
Back in my day, we used to only have 3 maps and we liked it. Bind, Haven, and Splits. And you're just gonna take a little bit of a sip of that nostalgia there, Mr. Asteroid, because we are gonna be back for more of the Challenge Philippines episodes. So welcome back, guys. This is day number 2 of Stage 2, week number 1. I'm Dax, I'm joined by Asteroid, and we are gonna be getting quite a matchup to start things off. 4th quarterfinal, and I feel like this might be the closest one of them all. We got Galaxy Racer versus Team Hashira. Pretty notable names right now facing off, and some familiar faces in these rosters.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that's gonna be. Again, we talked about yesterday how it's a proving ground for a lot of the things. I think coming to this one, it's still going to be another proving ground because Galaxy Racer is another iteration of the Archangel roster that left that particular org, that left that particular team, and started to build with the Galaxy Racers lineup, which I do really really like because they seem more promising than they were before. But here's the thing, Dax, they haven't really gone past the grand finals. It's always been they just struggle. And looking at the other team, which is Hashira, it's kind of the same thing where Hashira always gets blocked. And for some unfathomable reason, they always get the last quarterfinals game in VCT, which means that they play the semifinals on the same day. And it's really tiring. And I feel like that's also something that has hindered them in, going forward.
Endurance test. This year is already so stressful for these teams. And here we go again for Team Hashira. If they win this, then they go again into 2 sets. Same thing though for GXR. And I just love the story of basically Galaxy Racer Dreamfire here because you have half of Archangel, half of Dreamfire, and all the way back in stage number 1, it was just them fighting each other all throughout quarterfinals. It's like, hey, it's you again. Sure, let's go. Let's fight. And it was AA coming up ahead. But it just proves that it's the Archangel trio that really stayed together here. They got basically just like, okay, you guys are amazing, you guys are so talented, let's make a team together. And really seeing how lethal GXR can be might be a show to behold. But Hashira, this team, they just get better and better. They revamped their roster at the start of the year and they've really proven themselves in stage number 1. They're gonna try to do it again stage number 2. Will they be able to get a deeper run than before? Time to find out if innovation is gonna be the way to go. Will it just be pure strength from GXR? Find though gonna be the map to be. And we said it a while ago, it's classic map pool for this matchup. It really feels like that these teams will go back to their roots and say, okay, this is the way we know how to play. Let's keep it simple, let's keep it clean, and let's bring out the best Valorant that we can behold.
Now, we haven't seen any Astra played from yesterday's matches. Maybe this is a time. And yes, guys, in patch 205 and in this portion of VCT Challenger 2, there is a chance that we might be seeing it. But as of the moment, that is not going to be the case. Both Omens will be picked up by GXR as well as Hashira. And here we go, Dax. Here's also something. Last time when we saw Hashira, I believe they were still playing on their on a boot camp, and now they are. And I know that some players, some viewers will say it doesn't help, but I beg to differ. I think it really does give an edge because you play with your team, your communication is more real time because technically, physically, you're there with each other. It just has a nice overall feeling to it, you know?
0 MS latency. And oh, Jeremy, perfect time. Gets the scan into the paranoia. And Hashira teamwork already making dream work. It's a beautiful combo there to catch up both Georgie and Carl. This is the final quarterfinal of stage of 2, week number 1. First match of the day. And after this one, guys, we'll be going straight to our 2 semifinals. Here we go, though. And I do want to note something already. GXR, it's Blast playing right now over Ching, so I wonder what's going to be going on for GXR. Emma going to be taking second mantle back to the duelist because if I remember correctly, they do move Emma to another role right now when Ching is playing, but in this instance, he says, Georgie, Emma, let's bring it back Dreamfire style, but they are down by 2 members coming into this pistol.
And losing Georgie is such a big factor because I feel like Georgie is one of those players that just thrive on being a duelist and entry frag, and he's so comfortable in that particular role of his. And losing him at this pistol would probably hurt GXR here, but that's not going to stop them from taking it onto the side. Counter Paint Shell for Paint Shell as Jeremy is holding down the fort. Does have 2766 for the cross, but he doesn't need it. He's going to be handling every single member here of GXR as the showers will get flushed out. That's a clean round here for Hashira starting up the round.
Yeah, Team Hashira, they are playing that Sage Raze combination, single duelist that has actually become a bit more popular here in the Philippine scene. Just goes to show how we've really worked onto getting a little bit of some different cultures, different metas into our system, and it's just the way we play. Sage is right now a lot more popular in this day and age in the Philippine side, and Hatred is the one playing it. I do want to note one more thing, Asarai. Both rosters do sport 6-man rosters. We got Amix as a 6-man there for Hashira. GXR, they're playing Blast right now over Ching. So we might see potential rotations in not only agents, but also players coming into the set. And here we go at it again. Hashira with the gun advantage and shower control to get that orb, stifle whatever GXR wants to do. And at the very least, give Jeremy a very quick showstopper.
There's a nice little boost spot here for Hatred as he is While putting a bit of emphasis for this hookah control, he does have envy for that cross, and that camera will at least keep them safe from octagon pushes. And I really do like this. Sometimes if you're just going to be on B, it's better not to take the site. It's better to get control of one of the entryways to the B site. If you control hookah, that's great. You can stop anybody from coming in that short angle. If you control octagon, that's also great because you're not going to allow anybody to come into the left side. Look at that crossfire from Hatred. Nice little quick punish onto Johan as, well, what's going to be the option here for GXR as Georgie is going to make a couple of shots with the classic, and this actually might just be a really quick round for Hashira. Does step out one. Hatred is charging in with his teammate here onto mid as it's only left into Eman and Carl's hands, but in the blink of an eye, they do get knocked out.
And Hashira gonna be able to get that 2-0 lead. Georgie, though, absolutely lethal with any kind of gun. Still caught out Envy along the way. Besides that, Hashira gonna be happy about this 2-0. Pretty clean round, all things considered. But this is now the test for them as Galaxy Racer will be looking to race on in, go for the kills, and bring in their own rifles. But interesting enough, both Johan as well as Evan not buying as of yet, as we are going to be getting into a pause, I believe. Still, though, only one kill so far for GXR. Time to wake up. There is a little bit of that, first match of the day blues here for GXR so far, and it's just all about them getting back into the rhythm of things because we know that all of them can pop up at any given time.
Yeah, they have that opportunity, and I'm actually looking forward to this iteration of the GXR roster, even though they don't have Ching, which is definitely going to hurt them in terms of the punch that they need to kind of counteract Hashira's aggression. I also do always like seeing Carl on the Sova because I feel like his Sova has set things up a lot for Archangel when they were still playing in that particular roster, and having him now perform for his team is definitely going to be a step up for them. Although, of course, I think they will be missing the capabilities of Ching, but I think Georgie and Eman should still be able to perform for them. And now, the one crucial thing here for GXR is how does Blast go as a Sentinel? Can he step up to that play? Because I think Vinyl might have talked about this. We are talking about it right now, that Blast is still kind of developing as a player for GXR. And with that, is he going to be a bit left out from the performance of his teammates, or is he going to be stepping up to the plate, especially now that this is technically his debut match with GXR?
This is just it. Is it his time to shine? Can he step it up to the plate, especially that they don't have that second duelist he's going to be filling on in for Sentinel role instead? And here we have it for GXR. But mind you guys, GXR is still considered to be a team to really watch out for. Their roster is already star-studded as you have the pure prodigal plays of the Dreamfire roster, especially the shining examples of those duelists, and then the Archangel trio that, mind you, made it to Masters. It's a big feat to make it to Masters. Sure, they got eliminated early on into the bracket, but they still represented the Philippines. They're still really one of the best teams, and basically, GXR is just trying to say, can we be second best? Can we be the best with this new roster? And it's time for them to prove it coming into the bracket. But Hashira, I've known these guys for quite a while already, before they changed their roster, after they changed their roster, and the thing is, this is pretty much one of the most hardworking teams in the Philippine scene. Their management really helping them out along the way. Many of these guys sacrificing to bring out the best of them, especially in their play. And now, as we mentioned, bootcamp and all come together, fly on in, and make sure that they can be at their best at any given moment. Very much of an endurance test though, Asarai. Whoever wins this is going to be playing in the second semifinal tonight. So a little bit of a reprieve, sure, after the series, but they still need to be ready on point. But I do want to say something, because sometimes there are teams who will really feed off that kind of energy. It's like, okay, we had that hot momentum a while ago. Let's go again. They still want to play some Valorant.
Yeah, you never know. You can come off of a high on that one, and they have a series to relax a bit and chill out for the moment. And maybe you're right. That's something that I think Hashira would definitely need here. They're a team that seems to be... How do you say this? They have a lot of set strats, but sometimes when they stop doing that, or they're not able to use those strategies, they tend to default once again and rely on their aimers, which I think what we saw with Valkyrie yesterday. And I think it works better for Valkyrie than Hashira, because Hashira is such an organized team, and if they start, breaking at the seams, it just does not work for them. In any case, though, it's going to be trade for trade here, as slowly but surely, Jeremy's going to be popping off to the back of the side, but Johan spots him, and Indy, left to his own, has to defend it. 1 versus 4 scenario. Rabbit does come in to help out, and he will get a couple of kills. And this crossfire is actually working for GXR. Although at the end of the day, who's going to be the victor? It's going to be GXR, of course, with Carl standing on top of the bodies by his lonesome.
Stellar there from Hashira, though, at the end of that. Rabbit and Envy just getting a lot of attention on different angles, and the opportunities were in the face of the Omen, and Rabbit able to take it. In the meantime, though, GXR with a wonderful punish. I believe it was Hatred that died very, very quickly at the entrance of the exit, rather, of the Long, and then suddenly it's like, okay, Sage can't go for the orb anymore. GXR, always a potent force to really watch out for, and you can never count them out in any single duel. But Hashira now gonna have the guns that they need, and it is their time to shine. GXR in the meantime gonna be buying one up yet again, and you can see that their economy gonna get stifled after losing 4 people. Still, the spike has been left behind by the market. Hatred gonna be backing on away, decides to play the TP, but that Killjoy is waiting on the other side. Blast, anticipating this, watching the flank. It seems like this might be GXR committing onto B site, right?
They can't rush out just yet, because if you saw the rotation from Johan, they did leave the spike on market, and still having Blast to play as a lurker will make sure that nobody is going to be going for those big flanks by GXR. Now that Hashira has picked up, or rather GXR has picked up their spike, they're going to try to charge right in, but Envy once again is the king of elbow, and he's going to stop them as soon as they bleed into the site. Beautiful stuff here from Envy, and he's not done just yet. The triple kill as well to boot. And even though we are seeing kills left and right for GXR as well, this is still not the site taken. And as Jeremy comes in, you know he is just going to punish GXR as they're a bit too wily in this positioning. Throws out the boombot there, or rather the satchel, but does get immediately taken down. Although Envy, he's feeling himself 4K for this 4th round, and that is going to be the deep use on the spike. GXR should be back on a weaker buy in the next round.
Hashira able to take it. And the thing about Hashira is they're a little bit more low-key in the fact that anyone can pop off in this roster. We've seen Envy do it last stage. We know that Jeremy, of course, and Hatred are the ones to watch out for. But Rabbit in 2766, these guys are opportunists, and they will be bringing the tactics to get the kills as well. Compare it to GXR, who might have a little bit more of that celebrity status in being absolutely fragalicious, as I like to say, for the team. Because if you look at GXR on paper, right, it's like these guys, everyone can kill. Everyone can really just bring out the stand and bring in the damage. But Hashira, honestly, this matchup feels very, very even right now. And we'll see who can take advantage of that as Jeremy decides to go for the blast back. And oh, that's a judge in hand. I like the fact that we're not seeing the Bucky too much, except that last match we got yesterday, right? And it just goes to show that many of these people, even though we're playing onto the older patch, they are still looking forward. And they're playing that live patch right now. They're forgoing that kind of gun, and they're bringing that kind of ideology still here into challengers. As Jeremy, what a shutdown, catches out Georgie there. Blast in the meantime with a refrag, getting rid of the Raze. It's 3v3. GXR though might be able to make this A take work.
You should run.
That was unfortunate because Jeremy, he only had a judge in hand, and the way that can improve or provide a bit more control outside of Shower was just to use his ultimate. Nice little push out there from Envy, as once again, people do respect that as long as you don't get detained, you can always get punished, and Blast is about to peek out, but he gets out-peeked himself as Hatred comes to the rescue for Envy. That's going to be Carl to run away. 30 seconds onto the clock. He can always rotate if he wanted to, but 2766 on the hunt with the rest of Hashira will deny GXR 1-4, and it seems like Hashira, they're doing everything. Gotta point out as well, Dax, loving to play with that paranoia. They don't need it to take the sites. They needed to whittle down the numbers of GXR and stop them from having a 5-on-5 at the start of the round, make it 4 versus 5, and it's all dandy for HSR.
Yeah, just Rabbit so essential here for the side of Team Hashira. We saw it in the first round. He hit that solid blind onto 2, and it's just basically either a zoning tool or a way to confirm these kills for the defending side. GXR in the meantime, still in this fight, now going to be having the rifles into play. And not only that, they're going to be close to 3 ultimates coming into the round. Johan is ready with it from the shadows. Emman and Carl, one away from getting the showstopper as well as the Hunter's Fury. But here we go, Hatred being a bit cheeky. He's up top the wall. Slow up though to just mitigate this push. He is now exposed and he's stuck into the corner. He needs either safety or he needs a rescue, but he's not getting it whatsoever. The shockers are coming. There we go with Carl getting the bounce and getting the takedown. Goodbye to you, Hatred, just trapping yourself like that. Great punish there from Galaxy Racer.
But here's the thing, they used paint shells, double double shock darts, those are the things that you need to utilize to be able to flush out the back of the B site. And this might not be looking too good, but they can always use their numbers. 2766 is in no man's land, and he's getting popped off by Georgie. He's got to be careful, because if they do spot him out, they will prompt JXR to just charge right in. The safety net here for 2766 is that he does have Envy on the side from elbow to hold on his nice little flank there, but at the same time, Carl popping out that Hunter's Fury, and 2766, he can't cha-cha to save his life, and just gonna allow JXR to maybe take the side right now. They're setting it up with Blast with the Nano Swarms. They forgot about that, but that Molly ability will help them take the side for the moment. But as the spike gets planted down, we're down to the 3 versus 4, and Hashira are gonna be all coming in their spawn. Jeremy will be piercing right in, and there is the big ultimate. Has to back away first and respect the power of that showstopper.
Yeah, Emman really scaring them off. Gotta love Galaxy Racer is doing, though. They're really hitting that elbow where it counts. Envy, though, still gets a kill anyway on the blast. Johan doing get 3, though, to wrap it up. And Galaxy Racer adjusting their play at the right time. Time and time again, before that plant went down there, Asterai, dark cover was put in front of the elbow. And not only that, Blast was like, don't worry, I'll cover you, put that spike down. And it prevented Envy from just doing Envy elbow things, allowing Galaxy Racer to get that win. So 2 rounds the gap. And, you know, I was saying that these teams, they're saying, okay, you know, forego the Bucky. Let's move on to the next patch, even though that the Bucky is still strong. Never mind, because here has Rabbit and Hatred whipped it out. 3 sheriffs still going to be into play. And this is going to be a bit of eco state here for Hashira, but anything can happen, especially with a loadout like this. And the Hunter's Fury, not to try and help out, doesn't get much, though, for the side of Team Hashira. Johan with a kill, but Jeremy with a beautiful tap there onto Carl. Can he get another one? No, Georgie will win out that fight.
Well, that was happening. Rabbit also got spotted out. And this is putting GXR into a point where Hashira is cracking, or rather pushing at the entrances here. And Johan, knowing this, is charging 1 by 1. Hashira is not able to set the crossfires, but maybe it doesn't matter, as they're able to basically capitalize with these sheriffs. Really nice shot there from 2766. He can try to stop this plant from being downed, and with a Vandal in hand, he can really deal some damage here. And of course, the pop shots through pocket, but he peeks out, and Emman was prepared. Hatred, last man standing, does have a Bucky. He's flicked out. He saw the one bodies. He's charging right out. Nobody wants to deal with him at range, but he picks up the Phantom as well. And in this 2 versus 1, no, 2 versus 2, as he does have his res, makes it into a very viable option here for Hashira. And they're actually on a save round. They're on a weaker buy here, Dax. They just need to find out where the opponent is, and this wall will force them to try to break it. GXR gets spotted, and Envy. Oh no, he's reloading! He's reloading! Blast! He's so low. This would actually just take him out, and that's going to be Hatred to get the shot off. What a beautiful play from the Bucky. Transition into the res, into the defuse. With Envy being such a great shot, it was the right man to bring back for the job.
Absolutely clutch there from Hatred, and it just was going to be Hashira mixing it up. Sure, we have Sheriff, sure, we have Bucky. Some people are going to be hanging on back, some people will be pushing on forward, and it kept Galaxy Racer on their toes. They didn't know what to expect, and as soon as we saw the peek into the labs, it was just a complete demise with that wonderful right click that we know and love. So Hatred getting the kill, giving the gun to Envy, went for that barrier orb because he still has a handle with the Bucky in the first place, and forcing CQC like that, throwing the slow orb even perfectly over to the short angle, just goes to show here for the Hashira. They still remember the roots of the Bucky. They also know how to be lethal, especially as Jeremy has whipped out the operator. Hashira really mixing things up time and time again as GXR is on an eco.
Man, they're like, I am loving how Hashira is playing as of the moment. I mean, it's not supposed to work, these crossfire setups, but it is as of the moment. But never mind that. It's going to be, of course, the Knives for Georgie, and he's finally woken up. You've angered the beast, and now he has arrived, giving the Phantom to Carl. Down less to his... Oh my god, he just needs 1 kunai, and that's going to be it that he needs to. Charging right out on Envy. That might be the bad mistake, as now Envy gets that neural theft down to the 2 versus 2. And this number has stabilized just slightly. And I thought that the spike will already get planted for A, but it seems they have an option to go for the other side, as Carl, he wanted to go for the flank, but Hatred knew what was up. And what is the option here for Emman? He only has a Satchel and I believe a Sheriff and a Dream. But with this one, oh, no, never mind. He got spotted. They're just gonna prompt the rotate.
Yeah, you're trying to be sneaky, but it's just like, you are exposed, good sir. Hello, what are you doing there? As B-Site now gonna get that plant. But look who's alive here for Hashira. The guys who played it clutch before, and the guys who's looking to play it clutch it again. Envy and Trade Thread working together. They get the kill, and they will secure that round. Georgie, though, putting up an astronomical effort in that round. A triple kill. Damage was done to make it 2v2. But Envy with the punish, and Hatred just on point as well. Hashira, again, taking the round. And this is so much momentum right now for Team Hashira, because not only do they catch out GXR in a thrifty state a while ago, but they also find a way to shut down Georgie. Incredible lineup still with these knives. Look at that. He's just like, peek me one more time, one more blade, and that just perfectly plays onto Jeremy. But as soon as he lifts on up, Envy was expecting the aggression, and that's one thing many of these players now know how to do. They find ways to stop Bladestar Momento because they expect that these Jets just want to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, and that's Georgie's MO. Always going for the big frags, open up for his team. But, I mean, it works, right? For GXR, it worked for a moment there. Hashira, just to point out, before I was rudely interrupted by Georgie's amazing play. So sorry, Georgie, for being too awesome. There's a way here that Hashira have been playing out. And it's them plugging up some portion of the map in bind and then pushing out on some with the help of Rabbit's Paranoia. And Paranoia, I like how Hashira has kind of translated this particular flash weapon or flash ability to just get kills early on rather than trying to use it to retake the sites. And speaking of retake, it's going to be a quick Jeremy push out. And GXR, they were just positioned to try to do something. And yeah, mid-air, Jeremy does get knocked out by the showstopper of his counterpart, but he's still able to hit the shot mid-air. And his aim really has helped here Hashira from creating these pressure points. As long as they can create opportunities with that Paranoia for Jeremy, he will gobble you up, go to the other side, and still gobble some more.
Whenever you witness... Gobble, happy Thanksgiving. But, come on, when you witness a guy just stand his ground against a showstopper, confident to hit those shots, you already know that you're in for a treat, and you already know that this player is absolutely popping. Jeremy proving it right there, and just pushing from the defense side and making it work. It just goes to show for Hashira, just to build on the wall segments that you were saying a while ago, is they're able to really stifle the choices here of GXR. You can play it into the showers, you can play it onto the hookah, go for that orb control, or just really remove the options right now. Because if you look at how the side of Hashira is playing, is they're fortifying the side that they feel like where GXR is coming. Rabbit has already gone 3. Blasto with a beautiful tap there onto Jeremy. Georgie in the meantime, rolling on the round. Dangerous though for GXR, they're lining up. Rabbit gonna get that 4, and Envy will come in from heaven to just bring in Divine Grace and the Divine Punishment on GXR. But look at Vine SRI. You have basically 2 choices per site, and if you remove one of them from the equation, then it's either you funnel in onto the other flank or you go to the other site, and Hashira just preparing their options and preparing in those fulcrum points.
It seems like GXR, I know that they have set up smokes for Johan. They have a couple of utilities that they're using to flush out these sites, but these are throws, these are util throws that are placed on default angles. But Hashira, they're playing these off angles and working it. You know, they're just like snapping their fingers and they're saying like, work at Hashira. They're able to just play those off angles and keep GXR guessing where they are. Rabbit just held a beautiful position on bench, which I don't think he was ever flushed off by GXR, and that's why we saw him net that 4K. And at the end of the day, because GXR could not really recuperate their losses and go back and take a little bit of a breather, they got heavily punished, which Hashira was just happy to oblige and just take the round once again. And we're looking at this 2-8. I mean, it should have been a pretty quick round, but it's once again Jeremy unleashed. This man has gone to the wild side and he has not gone back to the other. My goodness, he just charges right in, and Hashira has unleashed another beast onto the world.
I mean, Jeremy and Showstopper was good, but Rabbit's Paranoia is just perfect. Come on, this guy, he knows how to time it right. And for Omen players who are starting on out, if you actually move forward, the Paranoia goes faster. If you move backward, the Paranoia goes slower. And he just knows. He just knows how to time it right. It feels like these guys have practiced this quite a lot in the lobby or two. And it just goes to show that Hashira has put in the work at really measuring these angles and doing a great job at it. GXR, in the meantime, they're trying to play lethal, but they're getting stifled time and time again by Hashira. And honestly, Asura, as we get the shower take here from GXR, a bit of a conspiracy theorist in me might suggest that Hatred got caught a bit on purpose the last time he was stuck in a default angle on Hookah, because that's GXR saying, okay, sure, as Johan gets a kill on 2766, we're going to be using our utility in those defaults just to make sure that you're not there, wasting it in essence, as there's no one really going to be hit by that. But Blast finding his target, getting that takedown. GXR now able to play the man fight instead, the way they like, the way they know how. And Hashira, even though they've been very tactical, they still need to be mechanical. And with Hatred getting a kill like that, making it 2v1, he's back in action to make it 2v2. Here we go again, the res play value for Hashira.
It's going to be very difficult for them to get that retake, but Sova Drone will be used to flush out these corners. He spots out the one candy into the side and a recon dart as well, and Hatred capitalizes. The crossfire is too much for Blast to handle, and 2766 survives for that defuse, but it was all up to Hatred. It was a 2 versus 1, but he knew the angles. He knew what was going to happen. I honestly thought it's going to be a loss for Hashira because Envy peeked out way too early in U-Haul and did not wait for his teammates, but it was all a ruse because Hatred got his teammates back. And I just gotta say this, Dax, in the 11 rounds we've seen, I feel like Hatred has used his ultimate way too many times as a Sage. Battle Sage on the go.
I mean, he's clutch as hell, and it just goes to show that he is so potent no matter what. Last time we saw him on the challenger stage, he was on that jet, and he was really just dashing and slashing, getting the kills, and keeping that tempo on. But now, since he is reserved into more of the back line, he just comes in clutch. He's like, okay, I'm the last man standing, no problem, here you go, let's make it 2v2 after I kill someone else. And it just is Hashira really relying on their team and paying pretty well for it. They're just happy right now that they've invested heavily on these Hatred stonks. And as Rabbit gets rid of Carl there, it's 4v3. 2766 going for the shock dart. Johan, though, in the meantime, with the catch on the Rabbit, these omens on both sides can be quite lethal. But 2766, beautiful dodge there, catching out Emma before Johan gets on the board yet again. But look who's alive. It's Envy, it's Hatred, but Johan now, this guy can also play it clutch, remembering the days of AA. And Envy now find that target. It's 1v1. Envy, he's by the start gate. He's waiting for the Dome of Doom to run out. But here we go. Hashira now trying to play and go for that retake.
He has no information whatsoever and is making quite a bit of noise, so Blast should be prepared about what's going to happen in just a few moments here. But Envy, he does have it. Oh, he's going to get gobbled up by that Nano Swarm. There might be another one, so he's got to be careful as he taps that. Oh, never mind. I was about to say, he was about to get he's got a bit sizzle under his feet, and he became a sizzling plate of deliciousness for GXR here. They do get that 3-9. It is going to be the round swapped, or the side swapped here, Dax, to be more specific. And it seems like GXR, they were cracking at the seams, and Blast picks him back out. Every round that they can take, it's a round that they will be happy to obtain. And for the moment, Hashira do have that lead, but we still have a chance here, as GXR might be better on the defense.
Yeah, a bit of a meal there at the food court there for GXR. A sizzling Cypher seems to be on the menu, but look at that scoreboard. Johan is the only one with a neutral KD right now. 11 kills to his name. A relatively quiet game for Georgie as well as Eman. Sure, Georgie had his moment with the Blade Storm, but that was basically a round where he got almost half his kills. So it just is Hashira right now playing it so correctly on the defensive. And we'll see if they can do it on the attacking side as well. So side swap, one a little bit better here for GXR because they do have that Killjoy into play. But we'll see though, because it's still going to be Hatred and Envy now trying to play a bit of that flank action, just be looking to go for the wall to make these defaults even easier. Blast though would kill out the Hatred. Oh, the taps and blast. Blasting off to the past, going for the future and going for those kills. Envy though in the meantime with a catch on the Johan, and the dark covers in the way, but Hashira, they're getting hit hard, they're getting hurt, they're getting forced into these delicate scenarios, and as soon as that happens, it's GXR with the advantage and with the win.
Man, the timing for Blast could not be better. That was just impeccable from him. He charges out. He was getting pop shot on triple. Peeks right out to the right. Sees Shower. Gets one kill. Went back onto the back of the A site. And before his opponent could charge him, he was already waiting with his classic. And that right click, even though it got nerfed, even though it gets a little bit weaker at that range, it can prove incredibly fatal. And this might be what GXR need to mount this comeback here, Dax. They have all the weapons in the world. Of course, gotta be careful. I'm curious to see how Hashira does play on their weaker pistol buy. That's how they play it. Just
That's
a
how they play it.
4-5-man lineup outside of B. I like it. I like it.
Huddled together team, let's go run on in and we'll see what we can do, but the paint shells might be huge here. Never mind, this is gonna be really catching out too many targets as you'd expect. 2766 also gonna get healed on up, so they say, you know, our 5-man push on B didn't work. Let's go to 8. Let's try it again. Is this gonna be another rotation though? That'll be funny if they decide to go, let's go to the TP and let's try to make it work. But Blast right now, danger close. Johan with kill out the Hatred, but Jeremy catching out Blast, and GXR now bringing in the fire range. They're prepared for this. They waited it out. Hashira though still getting attacks. It's Envy getting one. 2766 on the board as well, and it's all up to the Sova. But Carl, he's prepared. He's working alongside Emma to make this 2v1 a reality here for GXR. There's the scan already. What can Hashira do? Counter out with the recon bolt. Oh, the walls getting hit time and time again. And Hashira. It's either you clutch the headshots or you fall. Either way, Hashira at the end of their rope in this round. And you know, that's gonna be it. Carl will get a triple kill. GXR getting 2 rounds in a row, and at the very least, looking to make the scoreline a bit closer, Asarai.
They do deny that spike being planted down, so that will hurt Hashira's economy ever so slightly. We might see some half shields or not full shields coming in from them, but it seems like it's fine. They're going to be all right. They even buy into the Phantoms and the Vandals as well. But GXR now, this is going to be the time for them. It seems like their setups have been great, but those were only the pistol and the save round for Hashira. Now that they are going to be on their bonus round and Hashira is going to be on their gun round, what's the play here? And it seems like it's a triple take on B Long using Georgie's impeccable aim to just punish. Recon Dart will not fight anybody. Georgie is waiting for his moment, his time to strike. As other members of Hashira are about to meet him, that's Sova Drone spawning him out. He's still challenging, but backs away indefinitely as the pulses will keep him, will keep him into the vision of Hashira. They still really are adamant about taking this B control though, Dax.
Yeah, and for Hashira, this is where they're really tested. Looking at their comp, they still have the Stage and Cypher together, so it's all up to the raise right now of Jeremy to make the entries count. But with Georgie shutting them down like this, and Galaxy Racer is able to take the aim tools that they would like, and they're winning it out more often than not. Rabbit though, finding one back, gets a tap on. Hatred is quite a lot away, honestly, from the Resurrection. It seems like it's Envy closer to his ultimate instead. For Hashira, they'd love to have that Sage Res to help him up in a round like this, but for now, it is going to be the lurk here. Now, the thing here for Team Hashira, I'd say, Mr. Asteroid, has to be the fact that they need the numbers, they need to force the rotations, and then they can get the catch there with Envy. Beautiful catch, though, by Rabbit instead. It seems like the hunted one has become the hunter. Spike being planted, wall is there, and GXR trying to play from the defense, trying to play from the elbow as it's cracking. Carl on the other side of this wall.
Paranoia is still up for Rabbit. You can use that to blind 2 of the members of GXR that's going to be coming from spawn. If only he can have the help from Hatred, this is going to be huge as Envy comes out, cannot help out his teammate, but maybe this is the time for Rabbit to get his ace. Hatred will come in clutch, and that is just a beautiful take from Hashira. They had Envy, who was lurking on a short to give some options here for Hashira. He did not dip in way too aggressive. Use that teleport as Rabbit found out where, I believe that was Eman at. He didn't even see his head. All he needed was the information of that foot to see he's inside the tube, and he popped the shot onto the wall. That's a thing that is definitely sometimes forgotten by the teams, that you don't need to see your opponent to kill them. Sometimes it's just a bit of visual confirmation, and then you use the wallbang capabilities of your weapon to get that kill. And Rabbit, full utilizing that, just gets 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and he's not done. Going into the next round, he gets 2 again, and this is the punish that Hashira was looking for as Jeremy comes out from hookah, and this should be a clean round for Hashira.
Yeah, this is looking good, and we have even Envy playing the A-Lurk yet again, but I just gotta say, Rabbit, he's always been a mainstay of the Hashira roster, old and new. He's really been there, and he took a bit of a sabbatical at the end of the year, but now he is just absolutely on point. He's gotten 2 quads so far in this game, and it just goes to show that the fact that Hashira really trusts Rabbit as Envy gets a kill there is really, you know, it's well-founded. You gotta trust a guy like this who not only leads the team, but can play it in such an amazing way. Very smart with the paranoias, very smart with the angles, and I just gotta say, this feels like it's a... what's the term? It really feels like this is an enabled Rabbit playing right now. He is going to be in the bootcamp that Hash has provided. He isn't going to have the technical issues he has had anymore. And he is just absolutely smart and absolutely insane. He's always been that smart player. That's why you have him in the roster. But back in the day, he was considered a little mechanically weaker than the rest of the team, and it might be owing to his whole setup and more. But this is a Rabbit pulling something out of the hat, and this is incredible as Hashira is in quite a lead versus GXR.
Jigsaw, there seems like there's something lacking when they're trying to take the sights on the attacking side. And now that they're on defending, I don't know what's happening here. They're just playing, I think, the single angles, and Georgie, as well as whoever tries to aggress by themselves, get heavily punished because Hashira, they're set up for that. Jeremy, though, a bit too overeager to try to use his Flight's play to set things up, but you know what? It's gonna be fine. If Hatred gets another kill, he's gonna be able to revive his fallen comrade, and Johan was caught reloading. You know Hatred's gonna punish that. You know all day, every day, it's not gonna be okay when you try to do some shenanigans like that in front of Hatred, and he's not done just yet. Triple kill for this man. Give him a medal, guys, as it's now left into the hands of Eman and Carl. If you know who can clutch it, it's Carl and Eman. But can they really make it work, as every single angle that they can come out from is being covered by Hashira? 1-2 punch, maybe? It's a double peek out, and that's going to be shut down. And Eman, well, he's down for the count. That's going to be one more round before match point, and Hashira have really brought up to the point. Actually, no, it's already match point. I did not count properly, as again, the counter on the top was a little bit delayed there, guys. Apologies.
Math is hard, guys, but you know what isn't hard here for the side of Hashira to rely on that res. Beautiful shot there from Blast, and it is them understanding that if you get rid of Jeremy, there isn't going to be that sudden impact anymore on Team Hashira, so GXR playing that one right at the start. But then you have Hatred who says, okay, let's just run on in. I hear a reload, and that person is named Johan, catching him out inside the lamps, getting the res on, and from that point on, it's just Hashira taking even more map control along the way. GXR, though, in the meantime, this is really them at the brink, and losing Georgie at the very start of this round is quite difficult already. Jeremy gonna be able to get a kill as well. Real tough to get that intel, and Hatred, he wants to play that contact. He wants to go on in. Carl already going on down after gets rid of 2766, but this has just been the Hashira show so far, and the Hashira way is looking to be the supreme one here. Blast, though, with a bit of a last stand onto the side. Jeremy trying to see him. Come on, get into my sightlines. There we have the takedown. Johan is just gonna walk into that one, and the Hashira way is the way to go on Bind. 13 to 5, a statement by Team Hashira to take the victory here in map number 1. And that was just systematic, automatic, and honestly well executed by Team Hashira.
Hashira is the unit, the strongest among the Demon Corps, and it seems like they do it here as well in Valorant. They are looking so organized and refined, and I think they found the mix, man. They've kind of been struggling on what they need to pick, what they need to put, who they need to put into in terms of their agents. But having Jeremy as their frontline Raze, having Envy as their great lurker, and having Hatred as their support Sage, it works out in the end. Of course, this whole team just played incredibly well. We're only on game 1, guys, don't forget. So this is a best of 3 series, and not done just yet. But the performance is making me think that Hashira is a definite promising team here. GXR, on the other hand, we can't really sugarcoat it. It feels like they're missing a key ingredient here. They're not up to par to what we've seen on them, and it seems like they need Ching to come back. If he's going to be able to play in game 2, I think that's going to help out GXR here. But for the moment, right now, they had some moments of brilliance, but it really was lacking when GXR, or rather when Hashira was already heated up and getting these sites. They went in for a lot of passive plays and tried to go for retakes, but that just did not pan out as well as what they would have wanted to when going up against Hashira.
Yeah, man. Hashira, combinations, the way to go. Rabbit setting up and knocking it down. Hatred with the clutches. And overall, it also felt like it was Hashira taking opportunities to just get away from GXR and their playstyle, just get away from that contact and win it out from their tactics and just motivation. You can see their smiles. You can see they're all together. But for now, we'll separate a little bit and we'll take a bit of a break. When we return, it'll be game number 2 between GXR and Hashira. This is the Challengers Philippines Stage 2, week number 1. don't you lose your way, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be going back into Hashira versus Galaxy Racer. This is the final quarterfinal of stage number 2, week number 1. Dax and Asarai going to be back into the action. But Asarai, we just witnessed Hashira show up in class, all prepared, get an 8+ there on Bind, and just goes to show that teamwork and that stratagems. Impressive there from Team Hashira.
And it seems like Hashira really did their homework, not on how to defeat GXR, but on how to really play their game. They're so well organized with how they have just controlled the entirety of the Bind map when they were playing on defense, where I really love how the Rabbit and Jerry connection just showed us that they can control Shower by themselves and force GXR to play on other side of the map. But the thing about that, though, is when you flush out Shower, when you get control of Shower and the attackers have the only option of going on A short, on Market to Hookah, or on B long, they have those 3 options. But then Hashira just says, no, we're going to put Hatred on Hookah, slap down that wall, and basically there's no more way for GXR to do what they want, and they have to always bum rush, dry peek the side because they don't have the flash, and it seems like their ability to throw out nades to flush out these corners were being used to flush out the corners on Hookah and stuff like Hookah, and that doesn't really help them in taking the site itself. They're able to plant on the spike from time to time, but then after that, they can't really transition into what we call the post-plant position, which really deters. I think right now, GXR are either looking for one of 2 things. It's first and foremost, they might need a flasher to help them clear out these corners. That is so difficult for them because their dry peaks are just not working out. Sometimes it could, but it just doesn't work out here, and they might be needing that. Or the other option is they might need another extraordinary fragger to help out Georgie, because Georgie, he was popping off, but it seems like he cannot do everything by himself. His teammates were lagging behind him, and they could just not follow him. If ever they tried to, it seems like Hashira always knew what the timing, and they just punished everything, leaving Georgie to his own devices. And again, with an organized play such as Hashira showed, even though Georgie's an amazing shot, it just did not work out in the end, and it seems like Hashira won that first game with just pure, coordinated play. And now going into their map pick, which is Haven, what is the answer for GXR?
Come on, like Hashira, they played the mind games, they played the wall games, and they played the paranoia games to absolute perfection. And you mentioned it before, if it is going to be GXR using their utilities to flush out the opposition early on, they're not going to have it for the post plant whatsoever. But looks like someone is back into the GXR roster, and his name is Ching. The God is back onto that jet. He is going to be playing the duelist for this roster as expected. Hashira, in the meantime, that's a classic there for Team Hashira. Haven and Breach, a match made in heaven. Hashira, in their old iteration, the pioneers, I'd say, of the Philippine scene to run that agent. And they're going to be bringing it here yet again. Double into the way to go. Hatred, though, is going to be back on that jet. So it's Jeremy playing the Cypher here. Rabbit going to be on a signature Omen. And, well, Hashira, GXR, going to get a bit more interesting because you got the firepower on one side, you got the flashes on the other.
No, it's fine. Jeremy doesn't always need to be on the duelist to get that impact, because we know that he is a crack shot, and he plays a lot of lurk. So it makes sense that he's going to be on the Cypher here. We've seen them be, what's the word here? Very choking of their opponents. And Hatred, you said it already. He's a god on this jet, and now it's just going to be the battle of the divines. Ching versus Hatred. Who's going to be the better of the Jets now that the king is back for GXR? I mean, all of the players of GXR are kings, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know that's the thing. They're all crowned, but they're all also absolutely godly in what they can play. GXR, there's a lot of hype for this roster. There's a lot of potential. It's all about actualizing that potential to really bear fruit here in the Challengers Philippines. Then again, though, you look back at AA, you look back at Dreamfire, and these rosters did go off to a relatively slow start. They have improved overall, especially for the Archangel side, especially in week number 3, making it to Masters, right? So week number 1, basically a proving grounds. If they do lose this, I wouldn't be surprised to see them, retool and come back stronger in the next week. But if they can beat Hashira right now, which just feels so self-actualized, then it'll be an even bigger indicator of their potential and their success. But Hashira, they're the ones on match point, and they're the ones hungry to make it to the semifinals too.
Now, Emin is going to be playing a Killjoy in replacement for Blaz. And this might be the complete true roster of GXR that we are looking for. We haven't really seen them during their inception. And this is going to be their first debut tournament technically. But we know what they are capable of. Coming in from players like Dreamfire as well as Archangel. They got a lot to prove, and Johan might just get smothered by that Aftershock. Down to 18, but he's still alive. He can provide a bit more coverage for his team, and of course, the power of the Classic at that range cannot be undisputed, or disputed rather. And it seems like Hashira will just play around. I do like they show the forces onto C-Long, but immediately back away here onto B. Makes a lot of sense. They can't even go for a pinch and try to go for that A-Link to A, where only Georgie will be the one to welcome them. They're holding off their breath here for a moment, Dax. 50 seconds. There's the fault line. There's the setup. What are they going to try to do?
You know, I just gotta commend real quick Johan there. He doesn't want to get peeked out, and he stayed far enough to not die, but he was still safe onto the corner there. So GXR already showing, hey, we still know how to play this game, and we will prove it on a map like this. But Hashira decided, okay, let's go back over to the C side, execute on the spot, and Hatred and kill there on Emma. The attacking side just exploiting the choices here for the defense, and they are going to be putting the spike down here. So Hashira playing the post plant. Here we go with Jeremy, also taking advantage, catching out Johan. It's 5v3 right now. Make that 5v2 because Jeremy, he's still feeling it from his duelist days on the other map, and he's getting the kills. Ching right now caught out by Invi. It's now Georgie versus the world here.
Well, he does have a Ghost and Overheal. There's a couple of chances, but there is the triple stack from Hashira. They are going to be the Woodmen just playing on logs, and they say this is the power of nature, the power of Hashira, and they get that pistol one by one. They just systematically take away at GXR, and even though Georgie and Ching are a crack shot, when they set them up in these against these crossfire angles, there's only as much as they can do.
You know, yesterday we had Animal Planet, today we have the Tree Huggers, and it is now going to be Hashira up by 1. I remember yesterday, right, you were saying that the whole city was infested by sharks in the sky and alligators in the sewer, so I wonder what Haven's going to be today. You know, I wonder what the magical world of Asteroid's imagination will bring us. It's like Willy Wonka, but for Valorant. But in any case, Hashira does have the advantage. Not all of them going to be buying some guns here. Seems like Hatred and Rabbit sticking on with the pistols instead. And for them, get that orb, go for the kills. But A side is fortified heftily here by Team GXR. 3 of them stacked on up. A bit of push to the garage as well here for Emin so far. But Jeremy, patience is a virtue. Can he get the kill? Here sees the hand. Oh, come on, Jeremy. You mad lad. Catching a kill onto Georgie with a knife. Statement there by Hashira.
You know, Valorant has a weird melee mechanic that sometimes that won't work. If Jeremy dropped that, woo, yeah, that's gonna be a kill for Georgie, a heal for him, and a Spectre. I mean, I love the plays, I love the cockiness, but sometimes there might just be something. Ooh, Ching is in the corner there, but of course, Jeremy just also knew the angle to work with his Spectre. Spots out the one in the shape of Carl. There's gonna be a nice little crossfire here, but Jeremy will not be... Actually, he got denied, but here comes the flashes, here comes the rest of Hashira, and they are there to just basically avenge their fallen comrade. Losing Jeremy and 2766 in the process is not going to be enough, as Emin, for the life of me, is bunny hopping onto Graffiti, and he was vandalized himself.
Yeah, the artwork there, not going to be touched whatsoever. The Killjoy's corpse going to be all the way in front of that area. But at the same time, you know, Hashira, they played it to a bit of a pinch. We saw Jeremy creep on closer and closer from the short angle, and then as soon as he was in position, that's when Hashira struck. But look at the strike, come on. Like, Georgie, unfortunately, forgot to look right. He was looking a little too much to the left, and that corner there, you're not going to be seeing it from the other side. Sneaky peeky like from Jeremy. Enough is enough, though, because GXR now going to have the guns into play. So there's the Owl drone scouting on around. Hatred, though. Ooh, he saw the sidelines. Theo had a bit of a jump peek there from the Omen, but no, sir. GXR staying in their lane, staying on the other side, and looking to protect the sites, as I like the TP play here from Johan. Might be a big surprise if Hashira isn't able to spot it, but Hatred might have an idea already.
He still does have one more of his from the shadows, or sorry, not from shadows, but his shrouded step to reposition. But Hatred is already on the case. Although beautiful recon dart actually spots it out. They know that Johan is here in the corner, but he's sucking himself so perfectly that he waits for his teammate. He waits for the timing, and now it's the time for GXR to strike. Jeremy has the ADS. Can he actually use this? He is on that Bulldog. Oh, he knows that someone is to the corner here, but Emin is on the case, on the prowl, and on the shot. Triple kill for this man, and the setup, the beautiful delays from GXR really do bamboozle Hashira, and that sets them back a single round. They still will be able to buy up for this one, I think, and that will be a nice little round there for GXR.
Yeah, but GXR, they're not going to have the full rifle equipment that they would like, and I can't really blame that ADS. The Bulldog, bit lethal with that first fire, just goes very, very quickly to your head to get that takedown. But in CQC like that, the advantage goes in favor of GXR. So 2-1 the scoreline right now. GXR gonna get tested. Hashira in the meantime looking to try and run away with this game yet again. And this first frag is gonna be so essential for both teams. The defense, they cannot really afford to lose members very, very easily right now. They're running double duelists on a map like Haven. If they lose a member very quickly, they're not gonna be having much staying power onto these sites. And Hashira, they know it. They're looking to exploit it. And all they need is that flash dash combo. All they need is envy and hatred to get that 1-2 punch. Seems like, though, they're splitting on up on A site where they're not fully committing until that Spike decides to move on around closer to A long. But Hashira, they're still thinking about it. Will they commit?
I really do like that Hashira was able to pick up Envy on this, or rather Jeremy on this Cypher, just because of the one thing that they can 5-stack a site and not be really afraid of the backstab that's going to be coming from GXR, and they're able to pinch this with more numbers than none, and this is the Hashira way, leaving it only to Johan, who does have the clutch genes in his hand. He's going to be able to utilize that paranoia to stop the spike from being planted down, but has to back away first as Envy almost takes off his head with a nice little flashpoint play. But he peeks out into 2, and that was a beautiful pinch play from Hashira, and this is the way to go. I love it, Dax. They have the setups from Jeremy so that nobody can flank right behind him, and they have the numbers to overwhelm any point that they want to take in the Haven map.
Yeah, here we have it again. Hashira now looking to run away with this first half. We saw it a while ago on Bind. The way that they play the economy really, really well is just to stifle GXR even in rounds that they can win. And that has really been the story of the playoffs so far. Every single round has been contested by every single team, and Hashira is just adding a little bit more to that storyline. It's GXR who has to step up to the mantle and play it clutch here, but with the loss of MN already, it's Rabbit getting that takedown. Here comes the Blade as well. Hatred looking to run in gun, or in this case, run in knives, and he finds Georgie there, hopping all around like a buddy. Burst fire though, doesn't get connection. Johan with the refrag now, and it's Ching with the Bucky, but 2766 is going for the tap with that Sheriff. 4v2 for now. The Paranoia gonna get played on now. The Envy to kill on the Ching, and that's enough for Hashira to win it out.
I did hear Trix in the panel talk about how she was actually excited to see the Flasher agents being selected more in our particular Philippine scene here. And it goes to show how much value it does, because there was a Paranoia that hit Georgie, if I'm not mistaken, and then there was a flashpoint. How the hell are you going to be able to aim when you can't see nothing? Praise the sun, hallelujah, because it seems like Hashira have known the ways of the blinding force of flashes, and it seems like it's catching off GXR, because if you think about it, there's so many ways to pierce through the sights that you don't get flashed and your opponent does, especially here on the breach. If you can, you see there, the center point of C, you can just keep flashing at the back of it. Nobody of your teammate will get flashed, and everybody from opponent, if they're in the back of that, will get blinded. And now they're doing it once again, but Ching is back to his old shenanigans with the operator, but once again blinded and only just procured that one kill. Georgie though activates the Empress, can get the full heal, and now he's back to full form. Now gonna be able to try to retake everything, but as that ultimate is used, as the KJ and Rolling Thunder were utilized, it will stop them in their tracks. Jeremy picks out the operator, and that this long distance, it's gonna look very damn good, but they don't even need it because Envy can just get those clutches even through the pressure of that lockdown.
Envy, just the invisible man into the corner, held the line, and absolutely visible there to clutch it out for Team Hashira. No fear whatsoever from the breach, and that's one thing Hashira is able to exploit time and time again in this set. They have that numbers advantage. They will say, okay, your time to shine, go. We have a plan B just in case, but if you can play it clutch, then we can win it out. And Envy, he just did it there, shutting down the upcoming Empress, shutting down whatever GXR was bringing to that table, and a costly round there for GXR. They invested on the operator, and what did they get out of it? A single kill, and that was it.
And They just basically griff wrapped a operator for Jeremy, and even though he's a cipher, you saw it in the last round or in the last map, Dax, that he can hit those shots if you're not careful. Now there is going to be, I think it was a quick little pause. Now we're back to the countdown timer being dropped down, and this is the same spell that we saw in that bind map where Hashira started to pick things up very quickly, and GXR just could not handle it. And it really is, I think, a lot to be put on to Envy's Breach, who he just set things up for Hatred. That's just the basic of it, and it works.
Yeah, just Team Hashira, these guys are playing very well together, and it goes to show there is a lot of trust with one another and a lot of work alongside each other. Rabbit gonna be able to get the kill onto Carl, and in the meantime with a takedown onto Hatred, and as Ching finds that thing and finds head of Rabbit, he gets another one. The blades are available, the blades are getting the kills, but he only has 6 HP to his name. Now it's 2v2. But Jeremy, he has the operator, so it's not going to be too lethal in CQC unless he gets that single shot to connect. Georgie with the Bucky, and this might be the force to reckon with as Jeremy gonna go down to 766 now versus Ching. He's gotten his off back, I believe. He is going to be looking for the fight. Johan is there to help on out, and now it will just be the fall of that. So it was Ching falling, my mistake there. Georgie gonna be picking it up to give it now to Ching, and GXR, you can never count these guys out in raw power, and that was the play there. The Blade Storm was really absolutely shining.
Ching was down to his last blade, and honestly I was wondering how he can get another knockout with that. And the way that he was able to do said thing is Emin tucked himself on the corner. He waited for the perfect moment to strike. He came out, he got a couple of kills. He didn't get the last shot onto Rabbit, if I'm not mistaken, but he provided enough distraction that Ching got another reset with his Blade Storm, and he was not done. He was not over from getting these shutdowns. And at the point where he did get knocked off, put it into 2 versus 2, Georgie was already healed back out. He had a rifle, he had all means to clutch out for GXR, and that was so well placed there from Emin. The brains on this man, the calm nature not to push out too aggressively. But now we saw into what was happening in that round. It was Johan knocked off. No more smokes, no more paranoias here. But Ching back on his operator. You gotta be careful. He's gonna be able to utilize that, and through the smoke, my goodness, Ching and Engling. And now it's going to be Carl setting things up once again, and Hashira is getting denied one after the other. I think that was a misfire on the paranoia as well to blind one of the members, and the spike has been dropped down. Only Jeremy to remain, and Ching is not done just yet. His bloodlust has been unleashed, and now GXR are looking to get more of these rounds.
The fury of the storm has been unleashed, but my oh my, that is gonna be Ching getting the quad. He even got a classic wallbang of all things, just really finishing off the competition there. And GXR, this is the statement we want to see. Over the past 2 rounds, Ching has rocketed himself to the top of the GXR scoreboard, and that operator back in his hands is gonna be a testament to his performance so far. Hashira, they might be thinking now maybe we should have thrown that gun away, prevent Ching from playing things out, because he does go for his reflex there to really smoke at that Raycon, and a beautiful headshot onto Envy. Carl there to help on that as well. Paranoia gets connection onto 2766, unfortunately, and now that's just Ching getting every little bit of that C-long angle. I honestly thought Hashira, they had such a good handle of the round already because they got the punish on Johan, but then again, with Ching just bringing it back from that deficit, it's now GXR mounting quite a comeback.
Definitely. And it's all spearheaded by Ching, who just, with his years of experience as a player and his pedigree as a duelist, he's just getting these kills that really catch Hashira off guard. And speaking of getting those kills, Georgie, of course, not getting fallen behind by his counterpart there, or his duelist. Harlem's gonna be into the corner here. He's waiting for a nice little peek out. He knows that the damage is done on Hatred, and because they don't have any healers for Hashira, he can just line them up with this, or light them up with this Vandal. If he's a bit more cautious or a bit more aggressive, he's gonna find them. Finds the one, backs away, but that is Envy. That's a set player for Hashira, and that definitely will hurt them in trying to take these maps here, or these sites here, with 30 seconds left onto that timer.
And GXR now getting the opportunities that they would like. attention Hashira all the way to the other side, and suddenly Carl appears to take the opportunity for the team. 5v3 now. Hashira a bit on the ropes, and it gets the kill anyway. 2766 though with the kill onto Carl, but Ching, he just wraps it up with a classic of all things. It's GXR yet again on the board, and this is really where the full potential of Galaxy Racer shows up as, right? When someone is hot, everyone gets hot. It really feels like this oven has been pre-baked already, and these guys are ready to cook up a storm with Ching as the master chef so far.
Damn. Ching he's basically doing what Fire Sajan did for 6045 Pirates. And like you said, if it can warm up and build the morale for GXR, it seems like they're more courageous, they're more set into how they rotate around the map on their defending side, and it's working for them. And from a 5-1 deficit, if I'm not mistaken, they've brought it back to the 5-4. Now, a technical pause will be done here, guys, so just hold on for a moment. But you are seeing Hashira start to break down just a tad bit, but it definitely has been Ching going for these angles, aggressively holding these locations, these points where Hashira do want to take, but it's still Ching getting these knockouts through the flashes, through the smokes, and it works because it disrupts the flow of Hashira, and it allows the rest of GXR to support their main player, to support their jet, and then they just get these 3 straight rounds in a row. Now, of course, there's going to still be I think the buy round here for Hashira. Hatred will not be purchasing anything because he does have his blades. But in any case, though, this is looking pretty damn good. Looking damn good, damn well for GXR.
You know, Azurai, if Chef Ching here makes a cookbook, his first recipe has to be that operator skewer. It's gonna be a meaty one. He's like, you know, just free heat, see long for yourself, get that kind of angle. And that has been the thing here. With Ching getting this momentum back, and him being put into the roster, he is that duelist for good reason. He's the jet over Georgie for good reason. And you can see why just the operator special really making it down. The parkour practice yet again on Seaside, where we see Ching do this time and time again. He does it a lot, so he doesn't need to waste an updraft. So it's still gonna be, I'd say, in his motors, like he's having it mechanically. He's like, okay, I'm gonna be moving here, I'm gonna be moving there. And I do believe it is GXR potentially with the pause here, because Johan might be gone from this game, unfortunately. Hashira though, they need to step it up yet again, and the Blade Storm might be the way to go. The flashes have been essential in these takes, but with the fact that as soon as the flash ends, Ching is still peeking the same angle, and someone else is watching his plant, then it's a recipe of success for Galaxy Racer. Does Hashira need to commit a bit more of the blind and scout out Ching before really going on? And how far do they have to go? Do they need to get in the face of the Jets just to get away from all of the other people trying to protect them? Well, we'll find out how they're gonna adjust very, very soon. We're just making sure everyone is fine and dandy in this game. We don't want any issues to get in the way of the amazing series, especially as GXR is mounting a comeback that we didn't really see in map number 1.
Yeah, if you think about it, Ching with these very long angles, not putting the moment where he was holding B there with a close range operator, because that was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Makes it difficult, right? Because you can flash Ching out, but when he's so confident and he's just holding his sight there, and his teammates can delay even slightly the push of Hashira, his operator becomes such a disgusting tool, because as long as he can hit his shots as he peeks out, there will be no chance for Hashira for any form of retaliation. And this is going back to the point where operator is just really damn disgusting if you are just that crack of a shot. I mean, that's such a dumb moment for me to say, but I mean, it's an FPS, right? And
No,
you have
it's
such a
true.
talent like Ching, it becomes incredibly difficult for Hashira to deal with. But now they do have some options. They'll try to breach the gap with the breach, using his ultimate there. But of course, Hatred setting things up is gonna be just ripping them one after the other, even through the lair. My goodness, the right clicks from Hatred will not be denied, and this spike will get planted down, leaving it all to the hands of Ching. He does have his ultimate, he does have his operator, but these are very crucial uses, crucial utilities that he's going to expend, and Hatred is waiting for the time to just charge in onto Ching here. He's looking for a flank, but nobody is there. They're all saving. They're all just looking for the spike to get to explode and guarding it, because they give that much respect for Ching, and I think he knows that he can't really do too much in a 4 versus 1 scenario. Maybe he can just have it make an expensive round for Hashira, but that's about it. He can't really do too much after that.
Yeah, pun intended, Asarai, and punishment on a site. What play there from Envy, breaching that gap with the Rolling Thunder, and Hatred just dashing on in. Thing is, though, Hashira, they can't really afford to hunt down Ching as much as they would like. Since they lost a bunch of rounds beforehand, this is their chance to go for that comeback, and they should know by now that GXR will have the guns in the next round anyway, so they will still stay on and prevent their demise from the hot hands of Mr. Ching. But then again, Operator still in the clutches of Ching, so he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Wouldn't be surprised to see GXR now fortify A site just in case. But Hashira should have other plans. They're not going to be having that Rolling Thunder anymore. They're one away, though, from the Hug is Fury, so that might be the call to action. Or maybe Rabbit can get some sneaky plays from the shadows. We'll see, though, as this is still going to be a crucial round right now for Team Hashira. GXR in command on the bank and looking to make at least a 6-6 scoreline happen at the end of this half.
The setup here for GXR going to take a lot more control onto B as well as Garage, if I'm not mistaken, and they have put a lot more bodies. Both of the double duelists going to be playing on the A side. You do see this typical kind of play from defender teams just because the duelists can always reposition ever so quickly, and they do have that point when they can survive that first bout against the attackers. And Hashira, for the moment, will just be trying to feel out the map here. I think what they want to do for now is to try to figure out where Ching is placed and then try to go away from him and then try to do something else across this. But with the way that GXR has set these things up, I do like how they have locked down this site and they're putting Emin in, or sorry, not Emin, but Georgie on another entrance where he can just get a kill, dismiss, and then just reset for GXR. They're really pushing down the clock here, Dax, and with 45, Hashira have to move.
Yeah, Hashira, they are going to be on the clock, and that's the thing, right? Between the Jet and the Reyna, there are escape options here for the side of Team GXR. It's very easy to execute later on with that double contact, hard sneak, and just hard push over to a site. But here on the defensive, it's like, hey, get a kill, back on the way, do it again, and make it double trouble. Blades are available here for Ching. Hatred in the meantime looking to face off against Georgie. And that's a shot to remember here for Hashira. That's a big statement, and that's a big way to go about things. Because now, Hatred is holding the short angle. Hashira, though, going to be playing on the B side. Unfortunately, though, for Hatred, he's not going to be lurking there. But he might see Ching by a long instead. Now, Hunter's Fury going to get popped here by Carl. He's looking for a target too as Ching disengages over in that angle. Rabbit in the meantime going to be in behind. There's the smoke in the way. Emin going to be waiting on the side. Pushes just to die. Things is here for Team Hashira. They're in such a good spot right now. GXR trying to play the links, but it's just not really chaining on for them whatsoever. Carl peeking. Ching has fallen. It's all up to the Sova now. Can he do it? The double peek will say no. Hashira executing at the last moment and making it count.
Last round before the switch.
That I was wondering. My tiny human brain cannot comprehend how are you supposed to be GXR when it seems like they have everything plugged up. There wasn't supposed to be any leaks, but Hashira made a leak of their own, which was to use Rabbit's ultimate, get that information that 2766 or someone at least from GXR is playing far enough in the back of C-Link, smokes it off, and then Hatred gets a kill that almost nets Hashira that, oh crap, we actually have a chance here to get B site. They cleared it up and it worked out in the end for them. Ching will still be able to play with his operator here, but he does have a shot to use his Phantom if ever gets a little bit too hairy for him. But now GXR with a more proactive play, putting Georgie in front here. But Jeremy, Spire senses tingling. Will able to peek out onto the right as Georgie spots him out, but he's too quick on that reaction shot, and we need to get back onto Jeremy because he just took off the head of Carl, now making it into 3 versus 5, and this is not looking too good for GXR. They're gasping, they're striving, they're trying to find any kills that they can here, Dax, but it's not going to work as Hashira claim A.
Run, Hashira, run. This time, since they defend, they rather take care of the 2A defenders. A side is right for the taking, and they will go for it. So post-plant right now, we have a bit of that hell angle. Aftershock getting in the way of Ching, preventing him from dashing on in, but the paranoia still has effect, and 2766 will go down. Johan also gonna be on the board, and look at this for Mr. Ching. He's on the corner, waiting for someone to peek. Hatred, though, with the Cloud Burst getting in the way. Great play there from the Jet so far, but it's all eyes on him. Johan gonna be able to get some more kills. Jeremy gonna be on the board. It's now the Cypher versus the Omen, but Jeremy always going to be a man of mission, absolute lethal, no matter what agent Hashira
Switching
will
sides.
end the half 8-4. But my oh my, the chain of events in the last 2 rounds there, as right, just to really reiterate the point, in the round where he took B side, it was just amazing from Hatred taking care of Georgie and putting Ching in such a predicament where he couldn't help. This time, Hashira changed up, got rid of the 2 defenders, and A was right for the taking. They literally Congo line from B to A, running away from GXR who was chasing them, and now they are the ones running away with this lead, and just really some great knowledge there from Hatred to put that smoke in the way, preventing his demise from Ching immediately.
It's not even Ching who got the kill, it was Johan.
Yeah.
Ching, like you said, he was put in a predicament because the smokes blocked him out. He was expecting Hatred to peek that out dry without using any of his utilities, but Hatred's decision to just charge right up to the diffuser worked out in the end. Now we've switched the sides here. There's going to be a nice little counter play. George is going to be charging right in, but Envy, or rather Jeremy, is in the corner. He hasn't been spotted out just yet. He could really deal some damage here if ever, but this blitzkrieg play that the GXR are using, it's working rather well for them. The amount of frenzies is just too much for Envy and the rest of them to handle in this flashpoint. Will it work out in the end? Looks like it's not going to be, as only 1 kill will be had, and 2766 has to back away. He does have a ghost in hand, but he also has to die to get that money back in going into the next round. And it seems like GXR will not bow down.
GXR, that's the thing. You give them a hard reset like the first round of a second half, you give them the pistols, then you can expect them to be so lethal. When they can just go for the rush down, these guys are just so mechanically inclined that you can expect them to find all those flanks, find the targets, work together, and have the same kind of a tempo. It's just this team, they have this ideology to go hit hard as much as they can, but Hashira has found ways to put potholes, put bumps along that route. In that case though, is smooth sailing, and now this might be even better because they're gonna have that gun advantage. Hashira though, sticking around with the eco, except one. Hatred on that Bucky, looking to believe in the power of that shotgun. Ching though with a kill already on 2766. Here comes Georgie on the board as well. This miss, not gonna be used. It's gonna be the Devar instead. Envy will take advantage and get the jumping right click on. So Hashira at least getting rid of the Reyna. But we're not done. GXR looking to play it slow instead and looking to play another angle as Carl scouts things out with the Owl drone.
Jeremy is back to his old shenanigans with the Bucky once again. Envy still survives, and this is going to be huge because he have a flashpoint in hand. He blinds Ching there, though. Johan picks it right back out, but again, the crossfire is going to be set up. What is going to happen here? And it seems like GXR were able to wiggle through their way into the A site, and that was too close for comfort, but they knew what they had to do. Swarm it, use the numbers, and take out Hashira before it turns into a big enough wound. And that was close, but it was still GXR to come out victorious.
You know what was close? 1 HP on Johan. He survived. He survived the BBB. He's like, oh, that's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt. But then again, if you get out of the Bucky getting killed like that, then you should be counting your stars in a patch like this. So GXR, they've gotten 2 as expected after winning the pistol. But this is now going to be the test for them, and Hashira will decide to whip out the Odin coming into this one. I don't really blame Rabbit for whipping this out if he is going to be committing on it. Usually you see the Sova, though, playing that kind of gun. But then again, if you can go for the wall bangs, really make it so difficult for GXR to rush in with the bullet storm coming their way, then you already know that Hashira has something in plans. In the meantime, though, GXR, they're feeling the heat, they're feeling the momentum, and a team like this getting stronger and stronger when people pop off. 13 kills apiece for Ching and Johan, 12 apiece for Hated and Jeremy. Really close at the top, really close in this game. Seems like GXR and Hashira will continue on coming into this round.
They're putting Rabbit on A long. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure where his wallbang will prove to be the most fatal, but maybe it's because the recon dart play was there. Immediately picked up the kill, and this is where Hatred starts to fall just a little bit more, not having any support whatsoever. Ching isn't going to be in the corner. Do they know that right behind him, Jeremy is waiting like a damn shark with the 3K already? Nice little spray control from the man himself. As Evan has to reload, he has to get his classic out, and he's playing around the smoke like a little criminal, but that is going to be Hashira striking back once again.
He is just caught there in the crossfire, caught with his gun empty and caught with his hands absolutely sullied. So unfortunate for Eman, running out of bullets. But man, oh man, you know, sharks in the sky meet sharks on the platform. Jeremy there is just absolutely quite a predator. And he just waited it out, sprayed it down. He believed that the last bit of a spray would lead to the kill, and he was rewarded for that belief. So Hashira now gonna be up by 3. It's a 9-6 score line, and if this can be the runaway freight train of Team Hashira, this is gonna be their big chance. But GXR, they still have other plans, and Carl with a beautiful kill there on Hatred. Now Georgie and Ching, they don't have guns in hand. Ching is one away from getting that Blaze Storm, though. It seems like it is gonna be a bit of a semblance here of Hashira, knowing that they're trying to contest, but look at GXR protecting their teammate and now making the chances a lot easier to win this round.
Ching wanting to challenge at range. You know that he can hit those, and he just wants to open things up while his teammates go for that quick rotation. He's showing forces on C that might gravitate Hashira to respect and try to move around that at a particular part of the map. And you can see some movements already from 2766 as well as Rabbit, but the gamble here for GXR shows a little bit of his worth. It's gonna be Rabbit to remain, but he might be able to deal a lot of damage here. He does have his Odin up, but I mean, in the face of such rush, I don't think he's gonna be able to net any more than just a kill or so, but even that doesn't happen as Eman just overwhelms. And now GXR with that nice little play and capitalizing on the mistake that in the end Jeremy did, flashing his own teammate and dying twice on C. It's not really gonna work out in the end. Jeremy, the last one to remain, gets spotted out by Ching. Does go down though, does get knocked up. But the best thing here is the position from Jeremy has been exposed. He's looking for the big flanks, but it's all everybody here on the A side. Maybe he'll spot out Johan coming in from B. But still, Jeremy, one after the other. He spots out, but Georgie with that wall bang on the Odin, just too damn powerful. And that's going to be GXR with another round.
You know, I love that he picked up that big Odin to really hit hard onto the connector there. And suddenly, it is going to be Galaxy Racer getting back on the tempo and getting back on the kills. Now, a rifle in hand for Georgie for going that machine gun and going to be changing it up yet again. It just seems like for GXR, they're able to take these rounds away from Team Hashira when they exploit the potential punish from the other side. Any mistake Hashira makes, it is answered. And any single time that GXR has a semblance of what Hashira is going to do, they find ways to be lethal. I love the stack there on C-side, secure that orb. For now, though, Hatred on the inside. The dash there from Ching just passing by, but he coordinates that. He tells the team that someone's there, and now he gets that intel onto Jeremy as well. It's 2 down here for Team Hashira so far. We have Envy on the inside, but he's gonna be already dead. GXR, this is the performance that we expect from them. This is the lethality that you will see from a roster like this, and they will get the spike plant now.
The 1-2 punch from GXR, they knew that if they charge onto C, they will not find any much of retaliation, especially when Georgie and Ching are on the case. These guys are detectives in their own right, and every corner they will find, every corner they will grind, and Ching just procures 3 kills out of nowhere like a magician that he is. And now 2766 with a classic and a dream. I mean, this is just going to be a runaway round here for GXR. Most that he can really do is hope that somebody peeks him and he gets a kill with this classic, maybe even pick out a weapon. But for the most part, it's going to be a rather flawless round for Hashira. And don't forget, you need to get overwhelmed by that spike there, get devoured, and get your economy a little bit better going into that next round.
I wonder if there can ever be a predictive thing in Valorant or games like this for what's the percent of these guys winning based on their arsenal. And I wonder what the odds are for 20 HP, classic, and you know, no armor, just you versus the world. It's probably like less than how many 0.1%, right? Just so difficult really when GXR is absolutely on point. It just feels like they're connecting the dots and connecting to get those heads, getting those quick kills, but here it comes. Hashira, they realize the situation and they are going to be changing tempo with this operator. Dart right now going to get broken. It still gets that intel, but Rabbit, a sneaky boy onto the side, catching out Johan. TP's on the way. Chingo in the meantime with a refrag onto 2766 instead, but the blind is there. Another one comes, and the flash putting Ching behind these cinder blocks. The question is, though, who will get the punish on who first? The Lear gonna be into play over at A site, but GXR, they don't want to commit as of yet. Hashira not over-rotating, discipline from both sides, but this kill might be big for Team Hashira.
That was really, really big. Using the paranoia and the flash to find another angle that I don't think Ching was even expecting. And Rabbit comes out from his hole and gets a 4K. Okay, then. I mean, Rabbit's supposed to be vegetarians, but this damn man is hungry, and he's hungry for the meat. As he gets in the 4 onto GXR, Carl is the one to remain. He's going to be in the sewers here like a Ninja Turtle, but it seems like he's not going to be able to ninja his way to victory as Rabbit is honed into that position, to that location. 30 seconds onto the clock. Carl still has a chance. He does have the spike, but he needs to deal with Rabbit first, who wants that 3-letter word, A-C-E. He missed with 2 bullets. You whip out your weapon, and he will get the... Guys, it's going to be the stabs. But Jeremy's like, no more shenanigans, Envy. We have to set this up. We have to win this round. And they do. They just do.
It just felt like that was Jeremy being the parent of all things. You have one trying to overachieve and just literally tripping at the finish line. The other one is just like, I want to make this funny. I want to go for the knife. And he's like, are you gonna kill him now? Are you gonna kill him now? Fine, let me do it just so we don't lose another gun, right? But Rabbit, he just pulls it out really, and it does feel like that today is Rabbit's day. I'm loving the fact that he's getting actualized right now. I've always seen his potential as a player, and the team really enabling him not just into the game itself, right, but also in how they're playing, how they're really set on up for the bootcamp and all, and how they've been supported by the org. And that's a beautiful thing about Challenger Stage 2. Many of these teams really getting so much support so far, but Georgie and Rabbit will be the ones getting the mayhem and getting the kills that they need. GXR is back on the beat and back on the beat now. Over to the A side, they will go, and Georgie just looking so terrific on the Reyna still. He can really get that momentum and push hard for GXR. Spike is planted, and A, yet again, the staging ground here for Team Galaxy Racer.
Sometimes a quick rush just disrupts the flow from the defenders, and Galaxy Racer utilize that once again. They have the talent, they have the ability to do it once more, and now it leaves them... leaves them in 2 versus 4, make that a 3 versus 1, as Jeremy immediately gets the refrag, but Emin knew what was up. Hatred does have the operator, but you know that he's going to be saving this. He doesn't really have any options to do so, because I feel like Hashira should be low in terms of that economy going to the next round, and Hatred, if he can save this, that's going to be great. If he can get more kills, that's going to be even greater. But GXR is looking to finish this 10-9. He's waiting for that exit. He does have his dash away, and he's going to be able to just reposition and keep them contained for the moment. Now, the question is, I thought it was going to be a GXR challenge, but the time ran out.
I mean, sometimes it's like, are you approaching me? And then you get teleported away from each other. So, well, it's just like, oh, let's save it for another round. GXR, though, they're one round away from tying it up here, Mr. Ass, right? And they've really showed their stuff here on the attacking side. Ching being part of this roster has given them that extra edge to really hone on in. And with everyone feeling comfortable in the roles, it's Galaxy Racer right now, keeping it up and keeping pace with Team Hashira. Look at that map pool, and you should know by now that these maps should be basically something these guys know how to play. Question is, though, who can take Haven? Will it be Hashira wrapping it up for the series, or will Galaxy Racer make the comeback of reality and force out a map number 3? Yohando TPing onto the side. A quick B take here for Team GXR, but oh, aftershock. Johan gets away in time. Spike planted, and now Hashira, they have to scramble and figure out how to play this out.
This is a really good play, because it saves you from having to walk up to the site to plant down the spike. And with the recon dart, make sure that nobody was onto the corner there to really punish Johan for trying to go for that bomb or spike being planted down. Now it seems like GXR, they have everything set into the motion. They can play around this outside map, and Invi really has to set things up. Jeremy with the pinch, but it seems like GXR will not be denied. Jeremy left his own devices. He can hit the one shot, but there's too many to deal with, and GXR have stabilized. It's a 10-10, and Hashira, they've definitely run out of steam. What's the reset for them? They can still maybe go for a pause, I think. Oh, actually, I think they already used their tac pause, but in any case, they've lost all the steam that they have. And how many rounds was that, Dax, before GXR got up to 10? I think it was like 4 or 5 straight.
Just this has really been an attack to remember for GXR, and double trouble right now for both teams. But the trouble is brewing here from Galaxy Racer as Ching, Georgie getting the kills that they need, really being so quick on the trigger figure. Johan in the meantime also getting the frags out of nowhere, and he's playing both the objective and going for the kills when he can. Hashira in the meantime, I really can't blame their team play right now. It's just that they're getting caught out very quickly by GXR. You can see for Envy, he's doing a lot of work, even though he only has 9 kills. That's 14 assists to his name. He's making sure that the team is really prepped on up, that the team has a better vantage point against their opponent. But Hashira, they're just unable to keep up with the immediate burst of impact from the side of Team GXR. Look at this. They find ways to flush out the opponent and put them in the spot. That's where it's so potent for Team Hashira, especially as Rabbit gets the 4K, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mr. Breach? Envy, come on, man. But then again, those are rare instances in this attacking side. More often than not, it's just Galaxy Racer saying, let's go, and they do not let go of the pedal. Hashira, they need to find ways to make that a reality more in like what we saw on the replay. They need to find a way to flush them out, put them in corners, or kill them with the advantage, or else Galaxy Racer, you know, it's not just the sky limit for them. The Cosmos are really their home ground, and it really feels like this potential is being actualized when you see the quick play from Galaxy Racer.
That's just it. The quick play. You know, they're playing that unrated game, just spike rushing their way to victory, planting it down as quickly as they can and backing away, saving as much utility and denying any form of envy, flashing and setting things up. Because that's where Hashira, at least, were able to get so many rounds when we started the second half. It's just because it seems GXR were playing the same game that Hashira were, which is the slow, methodical way. But that's not how Galaxy Racers go. I mean, it's in their damn name, racers. They have to go racing into the site, and it works out so incredibly well because you know Ching and Georgie are always set in adrenaline mode, and these guys just do not stop pumping. They just do not stop, running in, and it works better because Hashira, with their setup style of play here, with the slower style of play that they have, it gets so countered here by GXR. We're still going to be on that tech pause for just a moment, but now looking quickly into the weaponry of Hashira, maybe, just maybe, they're going to be looking for these closer fight angles. But you know that with GXR still having Carl on his Sova, the ability of Hashira to sneak in these Bucky kills the percentage tends to lower just because Carl, he wipes, or what's the word here? He traverses the map to see everything, and then he relays that information to Georgie and Ching, and they translate that into quick kills, into the site being taken, and into them winning the rounds.
He's basically the Hermes of Galaxy Racer here. He is just so quick at moving from one side of the map to the other, give that intel, give that message, and as soon as that happens, the gods of Ching and Georgie, they execute, they smite the competition, and from that point on, it's Galaxy Racer with the advantage. All Hashira needs to do, though, is to keep up. That's really the saving grace for Team Hashira. We know that they have it in them, especially with Hatred being so stellar, Jeremy being such a great anchor point, but it also feels like that GXR can really avoid the setup that Jeremy has been doing, and the raids have been really the points of contention also for Galaxy Racer. As we mentioned, Carl gets intel, and it's like, okay, let's stay away from that side, let's go to this side instead, let's go for the execute, let's win at the duels there. And Hashira, you need to really find the answer and fast, or Galaxy Racer will take the lead. It's not about the team anymore, it's all about the reaction. And right now, this is going to be a chemical composition of success potentially for Galaxy Racer if they can win another round. Rabbit, no, extra sneaky on the side. Does it work this time? No, he has to back on away. Ching go look for the punish, and just really catching out by the round there outside of the short angle. The sewer now has been cleared out of the Omen. It's an advantage here for Galaxy Racer. And even though we got that Hunter's Fury from 2766, it's Galaxy Racer right now in command of this round.
Oh, I think Georgie spotted Hatred there for a split second, and he's down to little HP. The pellets from the Bucky. When is it ever going to end? Of course, 206, but still, though, Georgie gets decimated, and that will allow Ching to at least get the punish. Georgie, or rather, Hatred wanted to get Georgie's rifle to play into the later stages of this particular round. And GXR, they've played the round a bit too slowly here. They have the numbers, but they're still afraid of the setups that Hashira are doing. And now they're using Carl to basically scan out the distance, maybe even allow them to rotate to B if they ever do desire. My goodness. But seems like the decision for GXR
30
is to go
seconds
for
left.
A. I do like this because that Sova drone makes Hashira think that it's going to be an A play or a B play.
Yeah, then this is such a perfect spot for them. They feel comfy going for the 8-6. More often than not, it has been a recipe of success for them. And now Ching gonna be waiting on down to the ground. M in the meantime with a kill onto Envy. Seems like time is gonna be off the essence. And look at this, a read from Galaxy Racer. They're expecting at least that shock dart volley from 2766. They planted over to the east side instead. And now Jeremy and the Sova gonna be looking to work together. But one has gone down to the hand of Ching. Make that 2. It's 4 in a row for Ching in this round. It's gonna be 11 now for Galaxy Racer. They have taken the lead away from Team Hashira, and they're the ones 2 away from taking this map.
You can see that there's some adjustment from Hashira here where they want to peek out earlier than Hashira or earlier than GXR can anticipate. But with the weaker weapons that they have, it really didn't work out for Rabbit specifically. Now they do have some money to work with. They're going to put Hatred into that operator once again, and it's going to be crucial where he starts off. If he charges right out of Sewer and gets a kill, there is no Sage on GXR roster to stop that. But where will he peak that he will find the kill that he needs to? Seems like he decides to go for B here for the moment. His backs away. Another technical pause will be had, and this just allows Hashira to rotate around their pieces and try to figure out what's the best option, because again, like we talked about here, Dax, it seems like GXR, the speed at which they're going is just something that Hashira cannot overtake. And it's really put them in a slump, and it's been a couple of rounds since that slump has been, well, stopped. And it hasn't stopped at all. Yeah.
So I want to say it's like lights out and away goes Galaxy Racer. A great start for them, and they just go so quickly time and time again. We cannot stress it enough that it's just perfect. Their team name is just perfect for them. The org supporting them is just perfect for them, because that's really going to be the whole play style when they can do it. Just go quick, get the kills, and wrap it up for another day. But Hashira, this has to be do or die time now, Mr. Asteroid, because if they lose this round, it will be, I'd say, very perilous on the economic side. It looks like Hatred's going to be the only one over at least 1,000 credits there when we go into another round, and they do lose it. Sure, there's a bit of that lose streak to help them out, but then again, it's still going to be a very tough day at the office for Hashira if they cannot get this win right here, right now. They will be looking to make the wish happen, and they're going to be looking to turn things around. But GXR, by this point in time, they have settled on the inheritance. They have settled on for their insurance. And no matter what, they are going to be having guns till the end of regulation. Full power right now for Galaxy Racer. 21 kills for Ching. And it also feels like, at the start, warm-up, I remember first few rounds when Hashira was running away with it, he was like 1 kill, and then he played the Blade Storm, then he played the Operator, he was at the top, and he never looked back. Jeremy, in the meantime, doing an incredible job here for Team Hashira. Some flashes of brilliance from Hatred and Rabbit so far, but it just isn't as lethal and as, I'd say, consistent compared to the last game and compared to what Ching is doing. Overall, though, Galaxy Racer, this is theirs to win if they can keep the mantle up and if they can keep their hopes alive. They still need Johan, though, to be A-okay. I think these technical pauses are really for Johan's issues, if ever. And this is worrying, because if they lose Johan, he's not only the second fragger of this team, but he's also the control, right? So it just goes to show that they're going to be needing those smokes against Team Hashira, and without that cover, Hatred's Operator is going to get so much value coming into this round.
Well, it's going to be just allowing Hatred to just pop off once again, and it seems like his decision is to try to challenge C-Long. Same with what Ching did when he was defending the C-site. Let's see if there's going to be an eye first, but no, they don't even use the Leer, and Hatred is here to come in. My goodness, he just pops off, and he did not know where that recon dart will be coming from. The pickup as well from NB, and the damage be done. This is what we're talking about. They need something a little bit more explosive here, and the decision for Hashira to try to challenge that C-Long angle with Hatred is just paid in full. My goodness, 11-11. They were on a slump, and they now find at least that 1 round groove. It's neck and neck here, and it could go either way, as GXR should have the money to buy right back up.
the wish has been granted, and that's the thing. GXR feeling a little bit complacent there, feeling that, okay, let's save these utilities for the side take itself, but not against an operator good. So that's just perfectly placed, perfectly timed by Hatred. He is also protected a little bit there by Envy, if I remember correctly, until he got burnt down by another swarm to the corner. Overall, though, Hashira keeping their hopes alive. GXR, in the meantime, they say, okay, sure, Hashira won that, but we'll be winning the next one. We'll see, though, who's going to be able to take it. GXR, they'll force to play it a bit slower this time because of that op. And this is going to be interesting because Hashira has been waiting for GXR to play it slower instead, but they're playing the operator now, so not to have that lethal burst as they would like from Hatred. Doesn't have the Blade Star available, or did he pop it this round? That'll be the question. Then again, Call right now, Owl droning right now, looking for a target or two. Seems like for Galaxy Racer, A might be again the place to be.
There's a lockdown available for Emin. He can definitely utilize that to take this site quite quickly if they use his charge right out. Envy flashes 42766. He really wants to get this opening started. And there's no ultimates for Hashira that can really allow them to stop this lockdown from working. That Paranoia will start everything, but Ching was not phased at all. This is not looking too good for Hashira, and it seems like Galaxy Racer are on point, on form, as that Killjoy lockdown will force everybody out. They're going to try to go back in here, but it's the heavy and difficult retake to start.
They were prepared for it, and just goes to show when Ching is playing bodyguard, he is just going to be protecting you till the bitter end, and he starts things off strong with a pick off there for Galaxy Racer. Now a bit of a crossfire, Ching though forced to go away from him to defeat area. Cannot really stay the line, but here comes the Paranoia, and that's huge there from Johan. Goodbye, good riddance, get some glasses because this is going to be cheers on for Team Galaxy Racer. 12 to 11, they're on match point. It's either we go to overtime or we get a GXR win. Time to see what Hashira will bring to this table.
Oh my goodness, just check out that peak. Georgie. Oh, that Paranoia. It's something that Hashira was using for the past couple of rounds, and it got swung back in their face tenfold, as this is a sucker punch to the gut. Look at how starved for cash Hashira are. And it's just one more round, one more push from Galaxy Racer so that we can go into that third game. We're only at the first series. We're only at the last quarterfinals for this tournament here. And every single match we've pushed to game number 3, Dax. And it seems like they're not done just yet. Envy is going to be playing into this one, but Emin uses his teammate as a living camera, allowing GXR to just rush into the site. It's a 2 versus 4, but Rabbit, once again, can he step up to the plate as Georgie is the first one to challenge. The second one will come out. He has to utilize, uses his TP, tries to make it a little bit noisy there. But it's now down to Jeremy, who also takes out the Vandal. He will get spotted by that turret. He's going to be peeking into the corner, but in a 3 versus 1, can he really do it? Seems like that's going to be a no. And we go to game number 3.
We're going on a trip on their favorite rocket ship as Galaxy Racer has gone into the Sphere. We have gone to the cosmos with a play like that. And look how confident GXR is just looking. They raced on in truly, and they found the kills that they needed time and time again. Out-pacing the competition was the storyline to success there for Galaxy Racers. And my oh my, we are going to be getting the series that we expected. Hashira, tactical as per usual, methodical as they can be. But then again, if they cannot keep up with what GXR brings to the table, they might have to play the game of GXR instead. The lethality is there for both sides, but Hashira has proven to be the more tactical one. Overall though, if GXR is able to quickly execute, then that's the show, that's the way to go, and that is how you play on Haven, man. The attacking side just rushing in, getting the advantage, and giving them the domination they needed to win that round.
They just knew. It took them a while to figure out the tempo of Hashira, but they just knew. After a couple more rounds, they were waiting for the setups. They were waiting for these punishes that Hashira were trying to do, and Ching was ready for it. He saw what happened on game 1, and in game 2, he was hungry. He was waiting for that challenge, and after a bit more, Galaxy Racer wiggled their way to that W, and now we're going to be going into that last map after this quick little breather from us.
they just flip the switch and we see the power of GXR allowing game number 3 to happen. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the first series of the day. It's our final quarterfinal. It's Stacks and Astra yet again with the action, and Ching is back again. He just becomes the big boss of Team GXR. He takes command of the team, and as soon as he got that warm-up away, he was just ready to go operate the Blade Storm and every little bit of that jet to get more value. Galaxy Racer overall outpacing Hashira, but then you can still see the brain plays of Team Hashira. The intellect is still in them, but now as we get into the next map, it's going to be interesting because I think we're going to get splits, and this is going to be intriguing. If Galaxy Racer, can they keep up that tempo on a map that's more clustered, a map that's more narrow, or will Hashira be able to go for the combinations yet again and make these plays work out for them?
Decider is going to be split, and a fact here, in Galaxy Racer's inception as a team, their first real challenge was Oasis Gaming in a sense, and they beat Oasis Gaming in the split map 13-11, but this was where they were still kind of figuring things out in where they put agents on their players. I think Carl was playing a breach here. I think Emin was still on the Raze, and that looked pretty damn good for them, even though it was a close game for Oasis. But now it seems like they're more well meshed together. Going into the split map, they might have something better for us. But definitely, Hashira did a lot of good things. We talked about this, during the break. Well, I felt like they really did a good job for that mind map at the start of Haven as well. But there was a point that it seems like their setups was being caught on by Galaxy Racers, and the more times that they did these setups that were in the same angles round after round, Galaxy Racers were just, do it a little bit, we're gonna step back and then come right back in and shoot you. And Shing was there to always go for that punish, and it seems like they were never able to adapt after that, and that's why you saw that 13-11, which pushed us now into this decider map.
Yeah, and the messages from Carl, just getting that intel, so instrumental. But as we are getting into splits, not going to be expecting those Sovas anymore. So maybe we'll be seeing that breach again. Maybe we'll get some Sky even. We'll find out very, very soon. But this has been quite a series so far. Galaxy Racer and Hashira having a lot to prove. And if you look at the 4 playoff matches that we've had so far, this is really one of the closest in terms of not only the scoreline, but also in power level. Like, these two teams are just going to be saying, okay, sure, we're really been at the top of the scene so far. Galaxy Racer before as AA and Dreamfire now coming together. Hashira being Hashira yet again, being actualized by having a bootcamp to play in a same venue. The sacrifices and really the efforts of these two teams have been paying off with the maps that we've been given so far, but we are not done yet. Split gonna be interesting. I wonder if we're gonna be getting Jet Reina yet again for the side of Galaxy Racer. Will we see the raises though from Hashira? Will we see the Sage coming into play as well? So many different options right now that many of these teams can bring, but it really feels like the storyline, besides the speed, of course, of Galaxy Racer, is the utility play of Team Hashira. We saw it on Bind, we saw it on Haven. They find the ways to combo things up, Paranoia, Splashes, et al. And it is going to be interesting because if Hashira is able to be lethal right now on a map that might be easier to bunch up together and work together in getting those hits, it could put Galaxy Racer in a predicament coming into this map.
Honestly, I'm going to be betting on the fact that Galaxy Racer, they're going to bring out the triple duelist here on Split.
Oh.
I feel like it might be a weird statement, but with how Galaxy Racer have been utilizing their utilities, I think they're better off just using one flasher in the form of Carl, one smoker in the form of Johan, and allow their top 3 fraggers to just go ham with the duelist as soon as Carl set things up. I think that's going to be a beautiful thing for them. And let me just check here. And since I believe it's going to be Galaxy Racers to start on defending, this might be helpful for them. Because again, we talk about how it seems like the defending side is always the one up for split, although we did eat our words in the starting quarterfinals. But yeah, that's something to just look forward to.
Yeah, and this is going to be giving to Galaxy Racer there, especially if they play out triple duelist. But I wouldn't be surprised if we also get a Sentinel. Be careful with your things there, Mr. Asrai. But you don't need to be careful about what we're giving away. So guys and gals, if you are watching right now, then we have a little surprise for you. Not too much of a surprise because the panel already mentioned it, but you can check it out down below. Like and follow the PPGL Facebook page to join our giveaway. Don't forget to like and share the stream on Facebook with a caption of which team you are rooting for. Make sure the post is public with the official hashtags, hashtag Valorant Challengers, hashtag BCTPH, and hashtag PPGL Valorant. A total of 10 winners will win 1,500 Valorant points, and the winners will be announced at the end of the stream, so stay tuned. Since you are watching on Twitch right now, or maybe even YouTube, you gotta head on over Facebook to join that one. But we're so happy to have you. We're happy to have you here in the English broadcast, in the Filipino broadcast, but we're gonna be getting into the map in just a bit. Is it gonna be a triple duelist? Is it gonna be a different roster here for Team Hashira? That's the question. As there you have it, Amix gonna be subbing on in, playing that breach this time. In the meantime, GXR does seem like Ching has already locked in that jet. Eman, is it gonna be a sentinel? Is it gonna be a third duelist? We'll find out very, very soon. Killjoy will be the option, so it's gonna be double duelist, double trouble for both sides. And looking at these rosters, they're quite mirrored here, Mr. Asarai.
Definitely is. They need something to pierce through these sites, and having a breach or a sky, as you were talking about, is such a crucial factor. I was really hoping we'd probably see that triple duelist, but Eman is also a incredible sentinel, and it just makes a lot of sense. He allows for not just his ultimate, but his abilities to really lock down and secure these sites where he's on, which frees up space for the duelist of GXR to start moving around the map. While they're on the attacking side, though, these nanoswarms are going to be helping as well to flush out these angles in tandem with those flashpoints. And now, here we go, Dax once again, and the curse still continues. You're going to be casting with me another game 3.
Endurance is the way to go, not only for our players, but the casters too. But all eyes on these team, guys. We are just here to talk about the action and just have a good time watching with you all. Besides that, it's all about the play here of Team Hashira and Galaxy Racers. I was really hoping for that pure mirror matchup, but it was just going to be Georgie saying, nope, nope, nope. It will still be the Reyna, and we'll see if the Empress can make a difference versus the needs of the Rays on the other side. Amix still going to be in for 2766 to play the breach, and with the no Sova, means that it's going to be the 6-man of Hashira in action. I love the fact that both teams have used their 6 men accordingly. We saw a while ago for Blaster game number 1 for Team GXR. Now we have Hashira having Amix in, and it just goes to show that these teams, they do have a bit of limitations. They can rely on their players in a pinch, especially for this case. It seems like Hashira, they have a specialist in their roster right now in Amix. He's going to be playing that breach to allow Jeremy to go on that raise. Invi going to be Killjoy, Rabbit on the Omen as per usual. And here we are getting into the game. Hashira defending, Galaxy Racer attacking. And let's see what these two teams can do as the flash comes. GXR stifled a bit in the middle.
Stifled a bit. Smokes will allow Galaxy Racer to push a bit through this smoke here, but the challenge will not be denied. Amix doesn't get the flashpoint on, but that's a trade for both of the jets going down, or rather, it's only Hatred to go down and Georgie to take a taken out on the other side. Jeremy pretty low in terms of HP. They don't have a healer, so he has to back away for the moment. Doesn't want to give the numbers advantage for a Galaxy Racer here, as the GXR roster are still pretty damn spread out. Same with the side from Hashira. They're not really breaking anything just yet. And as Rabbit takes control of B main here, smokes himself out. He does get some information that Eman is going to be there with a sheriff in hand. And look at this quick charge. Ching does have a frenzy, and he can go overwhelm if ever he does decide to do so.
Yeah, 4v4 though, and it just is going to be the side of GXR taking the high ground, taking the heavens away from Hashira. But Hashira looking prepared. Amix, look at him. Fist of Justice ready to go. Question is, who's going to be peeking there? Ching in the meantime dropping on down. Rabbit might get overwhelmed very, very soon, but he still kills one. Finally, there we have the execution from the back, from the front. He is just sure to be dead, but the damage has been done. It's 3v3. Spike is planted. Jeremy, though, he has to be careful. That's 11 HP, and he's blocking Invi's retreat. So perilous there. Johan right now, opportunity with the paranoia, cannot commit in time, and Hashira holding back for now.
Envy's going to be leading the charge here as Amix goes in for a quick little pinch. They do have the numbers. He loses the duel here, but Jeremy is going to be able to wrap all the way around as Envy was taking the attention of Carl. Nice little retake there for HSR, and this at least gives them a quick little edge. Talk about how you really need this first round start, especially on split when everything can just go haywire. And Hashira claim it with a nice little peek out, especially with help Amix coming in there from alleyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, Hashira is gonna get momentum right now. but we saw this a while ago on the Haven. And I know it's a little too early to say that, but it seems like for Hashira, they have a really strong showing on the side where the map is statistically favored. So far, so good. If Hashira is able to keep it up, then they're just basically going to be playing the same way as we expect. They're going to be getting a bit of that lead over Team GXR. But things will get perilous in that second half, but it's a future that will, it will happen a long time from now. We still got so many rounds to go, and we all know that the GXR lethality is going to be quite a wild card to break down any kind of stats, break down any kind of trends, and they are just going to be looking to whip out the sheriffs as well. A while ago, though, a little unfortunate for Johan. I really felt like he could have got the opportunity to get to there, as it was Jeremy blocking Indy's retreat, but since he probably didn't see the raise in that instance, didn't really go for the commitment, and just Hashira setting on up, playing it out very well on the low ground, and taking the round win. So 1-0, and who's having issues right now? Both, yeah, it's seriously again. Technical pause. Yeah, I'm looking into what's happening again, and it has been a bit tough for Johan, all things considered. He's the one who's not moving. I would be surprised if Hashira has one DC and everyone else is still moving around because they're all together. If like one disconnects, they're probably all gone. It's just like, what do we do now, right? So GXR, they need him. Rohan was essential in that last map. He was so great at getting the kills and setting things up. And it is just going to be us waiting things out. Overall, though, very happy about the play so far. Very happy to see these teams to battle. GXR looking to make a case for themselves again to be that second best team, looking to be the best team in the Philippine scene. Hashira trying to take that mantle as well.
You know, I'm kind of curious, just off topic with the cast and everything.
Yes,
like, how does it feel to be in an actual boot camp and you're the one doing the training and everything with your co-teammates and whatnot? Like, how's the vibe on that? I know Trix has done it before, maybe some of you guys as well, but I feel like it's such a nice little way to just be, what's the word here, to get to know each other, to create that essence, that vibe of camaraderie between Hashira. You can really see, I think, their faces, you know, in game one. Yeah, they were just really happy.
You know, I can tell you a bit of a story. So there are two kinds of boot camps. There's the in-house boot camp where you actually live there, you sleep there, everything. So whatever bathroom habits your friends will have, you will know them. You will know them very, very well. There are also other boot camps where it's just basically a work area, so you go home, that kind of thing. But overall, it just feels so easy to communicate. That's the first thing. You know, that off-tax stay some World Cup for another game, I'd say. And I was just able to really get closer to my team, not only in play, but also in terms of just getting to know each other. Because it's just so different when you're hanging out each and every day. And then when you fly abroad, and then you're all staying in the same place, then you learn those habits, but you also learn even more of how these guys go day to day. So it's just camaraderie in full force. Chemistry gets being built. And the fact of the matter is, when you know someone personally even more so, you don't want to be like, okay, kick them from the team, they're not doing well. You're going to find ways to work out with them. You're going to find ways to play as a unit, and that trust is built along the way, as you can see right now from these two teams. Hatred, though, going for the right click. Bucky in hand, he has said, okay, old patch, old shenanigans, but Carl with the punish. And the fact of the matter is, Georgie now topping on up with the debar. Enough with the assist. That's what the new patch for the Reina is all about. And in this case now, it's Galaxy Racer with the advantage. They're healed up with the Reina. They're good to go for the push. You still need to be careful though, because that's 3 Spectres in the hands of Team Hashira.
Thing is going to be waiting here for a moment. Almost will get spotted out by that boombot. There was a nice little pinch that we did see come from Johan, but because there is a turret situated on that A heaven, he couldn't really go for anything other than that. Amix is going to back away. Does only have his fault line, but that could be enough with the help of his Spectre. But he is rotating, thinking that it's going to be the A side, and he just disperses. This could really put a bad name here for Rabbit. Amix got to back away right here, right now, or else this B side is going to be overwhelmed. But who am I talking about? It's Rabbit, man. He could just procure the skills if he wants to, but Georgie was waiting in the corner with the Bucky. This is going to overwhelm the B side, and GXR, they were able to just time it well with these set plays for them. But Jeremy, always an incredible shot, to say at the least.
This might be a turning point. So if GXR is able to steal this round away from Hashira, then they are going to be looking to break the trends indeed of this series. Spike though has been planted. Backside right now being the place to be here for Galaxy Racer, but danger close. But the flick from Jeremy is just so lethal. Indy going to be on the board. Carl right now with 3 so far. Pain shells to flush out the competition. And Jeremy, he doesn't care about the nades. He is going to be backing on away. He's going to go for the shots right now with the Sheriff. Gets the wall bang. But does he have enough time? has to use the blast back to get closer to that spike. This is gonna be a bit closer for comfort. Can he actually do it? But he does make it in time. Hashira now gonna be up by 2 with a second point, 62 to spare. What a way to go there for Team Hashira. So close to losing that one.
As long as you don't see the white circle outline come out in that spike, there is time. So if we got the kill there, and if you see the spike, yeah, you see there was no second line that came out, or the second circle that came out, it still would not explode. So that's like the way visually to know if you have enough time to defuse the spike. You don't only hear it by the sound, you see it by the visuals as well. That was really good from Jeremy. I honestly thought that was going to be a win for GXR, as Georgie was in such a great spot, but Jeremy's pre-fire angle and his ability to clutch really keeps HSR in the fight here. As Hatred, he's going to get set up. There is a Phantom in motion here, but Georgie was aware, and he's going to be able to top off. Envy's just going to run for dear life, and there's no way they're not going to be able to get more kills aside from that one, and GXR is just that damn dominant. Oh, I still kill there, though.
Sneaky gets a Phantom, and third round turnaround might be the way to go here for GXR, and Georgie seeing Rabbit fiddling with his hands, playing with that paranoia, but the shadows are not going to be your friend, good sir. Amix, though, playing to his namesake, gets the aim and gets the hit onto Ching. It's 3v2, and for Hashira, they're trying to get the damage done. Raptors hold here for Kyle right now, might be sneaking onto the corner, but Georgie just holding the line and finding the targets from the garage to really just parking that spike over to B side. GXR takes a round back.
He set up flashes plays for HSR. It blinds them, but it doesn't really allow a quick punish for Hatred. I think the setup there for Amix was off angle, and when you saw Hatred coming out from the smoke to challenge, he was expecting more members of GXR, or at least even one of them, to be blinded or crowd controlled, but it wasn't really the case, and that was a quick punish from Georgie. Everything fell. Rabbit thought that he got B main and he had time to set up his traps, but he didn't expect Georgie to be just always be on the site. But this is the essence, this is the element that GXR thrives in, the chaos, which they swim and swimmingly dominate in, to say at the least.
I mean, come on, the universe was built by a big bang, so that chaos is just gonna be order here for Galaxy Racer. Chingdo! That's a beautiful kill onto Jeremy. Perfect punish onto Team Hashira. Sure, Hashira, they're playing the eco right now, but getting rid of Jeremy just like that removes the showstopper from the equation and removes the guy who can really click heads if given the opportunity. So GXR playing it slow and steady. Don't want to give up the guns. They know when to change the pace if need be, especially in a round like this. But a stack onto the vents and the rappel over to the tower might be interesting. It's GXR right now knocking on the doorstep of Hashira. The condos that Hashira has built doesn't seem like it's going to be able to stand too long. Carl and Eman on the board. Envy did get one, but that's pretty much it here for Team Hashira. It's Rabbit now looking to rotate, but Galaxy Racer, man oh man, just so lethal with the tempo. Rabbit though flicking on down. Can he do it? Will he chance it? No, never mind. Decides to retreat. Save it for a rainy day, Mr. Rabbit, apparently. And he's waiting for someone to come into the sightlines with Galaxy Racer. Will they hunt down this prey?
You got everything covered. They know that Rabbit is near on the ropes, and that the alarm bot will just not make it any easier for him. The rotations could come out. Georgie is inkling that there might be a quick rotation onto the CT spawn, or defender spawn to be more specific. And the rest is looking at sewers. Rabbit is going to be embraced by Ching. He does get the kill. And this is, I think, what Hashira needs to do. Make it an expensive round for Galaxy Racer, because they really could not do anything else other than that. And again, the trend of teams here in the Philippines winning on the attacking round, as they are really able to just segregate and basically break the positions here piece by piece.
You know, hug me, brother, and hug me inside the sewer. Rabbit, at the very least, catching out Ching. Making it quite costly for GXR overall. But then again, it's still not done. Seems like on the economic side, Hashira are going to be going for the buys. In the meantime, GXR building a bit of a back here along the way. Another deciding round that can really set the tempo. It does feel like there are rounds that have a bit more credence to the game, especially when you can put one team on an economic hold over these rounds where everyone can buy. Leardo gonna be into play already. Georgie gonna be saying hello to Alarmbot, but Envy takes opportunity at that small little flick there from Georgie, and that is now the Killjoy getting the takedown. If you're a great Killjoy player, you're gonna know where your stations are, you're gonna know where your utilities are set, and even with the smoke in the way, Envy gets that kill.
Envy's gonna be able to Yeah, force string out, and he's gonna get overwhelmed by Nano Swarm. Perfect time to use the lockdown, and here comes the retake. 5 versus 3 scenario. Emon does pick things up quite a bit, and they're gonna wait for that lockdown to provide its worth. The charge right out, as well as the clear, perfectly done. And look at that execution from HSR. They did manage to take out 3 of the members of Hashira, but in the end, they just charged right in tandem. And what a retake that was. 2-3. HSR do at least get another round advantage.
Another win for Team Hashira, and you gotta thank Envy for those stars. Just the impressive play against 2 of the duels there on the other side. When GXR loses Ching and Georgie, sure, they're still gonna be potent no matter what, but that tempo, that lethality, that impact is gonna be gone. And honestly, looking at some of the rosters here, it does feel like that between Georgie and Ching, these guys are the ones who are some of the best pacemakers in the Philippine scene. Hashira, though, they're up by 1, but you don't want to be this close on the defending side of Split. Hashira want to pull on away. They'll look for that streak. We'll see though if they can do it. Hatred in the meantime has the Frenzy, gonna be unleashing the blades coming into this one. Nano Swarm though, the zone out rabbit, one away is the answer. But mid control, the target here for GXR, and here they come.
They've done this time and time again, and nobody plays ropes anymore just because they know that setup is just too damn deadly. I do like how they get a lot of control from this one. Shing will be playing around this ropes area while Hatred is going to be just waiting on top of A ramps here to look for the pinch, which should be Johan. And Jeremy, if he spots any contact, his pain shells will slow him down and his showstopper will stop and will rather finish them off. But you can see GXR will be going for that retake. Georgie has gotten some control on Mail, some form of control in Mail here, but they still don't have any good amount of control on any of these corners, only the mid side. But they need to explode now or never. Carl does have his Rolling Thunder, and that could be the ignite to start things off for GXR.
Yeah, bring in the Fishers and collapse these buildings. It might be time for Galaxy Racer to just get a Black Hole's play on and really suck and dry and go for the push over to B side. It's all about them though, looking to collapse over here at B. The Rolling Thunder is the first hit onto the earth to try and make it work. Inside the smoke though, Rabbit gonna be playing there. Johan will fall immediately. Jeremy will be also playing that showstopper, and it gets a connection onto Georgie there. Carlo in the meantime with the punish on the Rabbit. It does get the kill on the Ching, but the double stack on Garage gonna get caught out here by Team Hashira. Another one bites the dust, and another round goes in favor of a defense. Hashira holds the line yet again.
There was just no way GXR was going to be able to do that. I mean, like I said, they do have the ultimate, but they didn't have the information on where to use it properly for Carl. If they may be, they were able to use that Rolling Thunder to flush out Raptors, that could have been the pinch that they needed to. But nobody was really phased from GXR there. And the cherry on top, Rabbit just put himself with a smoke play that got him the kill onto Carl and really stopped the oppression that would have been coming from Emin if he tried to get out of B main. Rabbit did go down, but in the end, that was just a clean little defense from HSR. And now, once again, here comes the Galaxy Racers. The speed is the way to go. The speed demons are here, but those flashes from Envy are just too damn good.
Oh, what happened to Hatred there? Getting caught out by George. He couldn't really go for the flick over to the other side. But then again, Hashira covering each other yet again. And that's going to be the wrap up of the round. Galaxy Racer, they wanted to go for that speed. They wanted to go for that lethal tempo. But no. They were looking for that prestige attack. But it seems like Hashira are able to conquer them there and position the way to go. The answers from Team Hashira is just going to be another sublime play. But then again, Galaxy Racer, time to do it again. Time to see if that fleet footwork gonna be the way to go with guns this time.
Nice little nod there to League of Legends, and it's safe to say. That's safe to say, guys.
Yes,
safe to say.
that was all the...
yeah,
that was all the yellow runes, man. I actually listed them all down. Like, there you go.
I know. I felt it as well. I liked it. I like it. Even though I don't play the game as much anymore. But speaking of playing the game as much, it seems like there is going to be play here from Galaxy Racer to go again with that blind into the dash from Ching. But the way that Hashira have been playing, they just play so far back. There's no initial peak that they need to do because every single corner, every single motion that Hashira, or rather Galaxy Racer, will try to accomplish here will just get denied by a nade throw, by a nano swarm, or by a flash. And they don't really need to peek these corners out. They don't really need to do anything because they won't get punished for it. And Hatred has an off angle which catches off Georgie, which is a step in the right direction here from Hashira, and losing their Reyna especially when they haven't taken a site, is so detrimental for Galaxy Racer because it's all left into the hands of Ching, who hasn't even found any single opponent just yet. He finds one, but the shot's not connecting, and Rabbit, he's not going to repeat this again without any form of backup.
Yeah, Hashira, they are stationed in such good ways. And the thing is, Hashira has been playing with the flashes for quite a while already. Wouldn't be surprised if Hashira will go for those riskier flashes because they know that their
30
team can
seconds
handle
left.
it. They know that these guys are not going to get blinded too much. And sure, there have been errors from Team Hashira, but more often than not, they are prepared to work it out. GXR in the meantime trying to play it safe and sound, but as soon as they drop on down, it's night time from Envy. Good night, sweet friends, to Mr. Johan, as Galaxy Racer will fall yet again in pitch combat. Hashira and the defensive stations are a go, and things are looking good for Hashira as per usual.
That was great. You saw Rabbit back away. There was an opportunity for Ching to come outside of a heaven, but if you saw where Genemy's position was, he was just waiting on that crossfire, and that was beautiful. Because even if they try to go through onto a heaven or on a main, every single angle was covered, and really not having Georgie to provide that leer as well really just stops them, because leer, I think it's not good in close quarter combat because you can shoot it, but when you throw it so far outside, it just allows you to do such things as that. There's going to be the pierce through, and Rabbit just overwhelms. Georgie's going to be in the back of the site here with a couple of his teammates, but now Amix, he can just stay in the back here and just wait as long as possible. We'll have to drop down into the site as that flash is coming in, but here is Jeremy for that big little punish, although Ammon steps up to the plate, forces Envy to back away because of that lockdown, and it's down to a 1 versus 0 as I saw that Envy shuts them down even through the lockdown.
Yeah, just so simple for Team Hashira. Even though GXR put on such a great effort to take that B side, they just couldn't really keep up on the firepower, and Hashira, they lost members in that bout. But then again, with the protection from Heaven from that tower angle, it was just Envy smiting any single person that he could see in those sightlines. So another victory there for Team Hashira. Galaxy Racer, they're losing themselves in the momentum that Hashira has whipped up yet again. But for now, they're gonna have the guns to try and change it up. Question is though, Mr. Asrai, will they go for a change of pace? Will they play it slow and steady instead? Seems like though, it's already Ching dashing on the way through to the ramps and controlling a tower so far. Amix in the meantime watching out for B. So for Hashira, no stone left unturned. And you gotta say for Team Hashira, they're making sure that everything is covered, especially these two sites.
This combo play from Hatred and Amix, they've really stepped up to defend the B site, and there's no damn way that Galaxy Racer can just pierce through this, because Hatred can always hit his shot, and after that, just reposition. If they try to chase, Amix is there for the punish with the flashpoint, and then they're just kaput. And on the other end, nade galore. Nano swarm, paint shells, satchel. There's just so much to try to deal with here, and Hashira is playing this, or rather Galaxy Racer is playing this as slow as possible, but once again the contact is there, and if they try to punish, the flashpoint to blind them. There's just no way that they're going to be able to take in this site without any collateral whatsoever. It's the 4 versus 5 here
30
next.
seconds left.
Hashira taking advantage yet again, and Galaxy Racer, they're trying to peek, they're trying to say hello from other doors. But unfortunately for them, look at this. Envy is already prepared for Ching, but can he actually get the takedown? Now we question, who gets a double peek here when you're trying to push onto the tower? Apparently Ching does, he gets so much attention on him. So this seems like it can be
10
GXR
seconds
setting
left.
up onto the side, but here for Hashira, they're trying to play it safe and sound, clear out whoever's playing the flank. Spike is planted, but GXR, they're still all separated. There's the flash into the peak. Ah, Ching, you tried so hard and you only got so far, but in the end, it's the flashes that matter. Speaking of the flash, there you go again. Georgie on the high ground, and oh, the lineup to make it lethal. It's 2 in a row. He had to use the dismiss though to stay alive, and we're gonna get on the board. There we have the Rolling Thunder into play, and Hashira, it's all up to Rabbit now as well as Amix. Amix though looking to survive, but no sir, GXR, they make do with a terrible situation. Ching, he was just cornered like a rat, and he was executed on the spot, but what a play there from the high ground. Georgie making it happen, and it just goes to show also that GXR, they understood that, okay, we have to leave Ching, unfortunately. We have to defend the spike, and they got around because of their tough decision.
Tough decision, but Georgie was like, it's not only Ching that can perform, guys. I'm here. I am here. Gets that 2K. It should have been a quick trade for Hashira, no cap, but when Georgie got that double kill, that was just the downfall of Hashira in that particular round. Jing, once again, will be getting for this aggressive control on the top of A Heaven. They haven't really stopped their setup on this default, but it still works out in the end. Now Rabbit is playing Ring Around the Rosie on B main up against Emin. And who's going to be the victor on that one? Because that smoke is about to dissipate. He's about to spot out Emin here if he peeks out more into that B main corner. And who will become the victor? No one. But Emin does take a bit of damage, down to 30. He's throwing out everything that he can, but Rabbit is just adamant at charging right through him. He uses a lot of utility, but now Jeremy is in first contact, and he's got the Boombaya. Let's see if he's going to be blackpinking into this area.
We'll see though. Nope, never mind. That is gonna be no records for you, good Sir Carl, with the takedown. But that garage fight, it was paranoia, and then it was dark cover right from the Omen. We saw the Nana Swarm and the turret into play from the Killjoy. And overall, no one was the winner. I think Eman should have had that, but he fell on down, dropping from the whatever the jump is there. Ching, though, in the meantime, he wins that pretty cleanly. He gets Stooch. Carl gonna be on the board yet again. It's now up to Rabbit. Triple detain though. That's huge. And oh, Rabbit, he takes one already. He's hunting down the demons indeed, but Johan, he gets the gun back, and Galaxy Racer will find their footing and find another round. Now sure, Hashira is up by 3. We've seen Galaxy Racer use this momentum to just keep at it, hammer on away. And this can be a good sign for them if they can keep it up and win the last round of the first half. We'll see, though, who will take it. Guns abound for both sides. Hatred, though, only on the Spectre. And Hashira, they have to be careful because it does seem like that GXR, they're ready again. They're back in their momentum.
Honestly surprised that Jeremy at that last bout just held his angle without any form of setup with his teammate. But you know what? It doesn't matter. He has his ultimate now, and he just crapped all in the face of Carl, especially Carl being the breach here. This will hinder GXR, and knowing this, they just charge right out. Knowing also that Jeremy is all the way in A, they make the quick play, the quick decision to take the B site, to get that spike planted down, and to force Hashira to go for this repeat or this retake, as Georgie is just coming in wild, especially now that he's activated and he can really deal some damage. But Jeremy picks right back out with a double kill. And Rabbit here on Heaven, but oh no, he blinded. Amax though, Amix. 1 versus 1, not gonna happen. Oh, reposition real quick.
Firing on Rosie here, Asterai, and Emin putting the lockdown down just in case, but he doesn't need it. He wins out the fight, and GXR climbing through the charts and climbing in those last rounds to make it 5-7 as they get into the next half. But a great read there from GXR again. Hashira investing a lot of time, a lot of people for those picks over at A side, and GXR is just like, hey, let's go to B. Let's take it. And they make it work again. They got confirmation that wasn't just only Jeremy. It was Hatred throwing a smoke. It was Amix throwing a flashpoint. And they knew 3 were gone over to A. Might as well go to B. And they caught out in B pretty quickly there, thanks to the efforts of Georgie, if I remember correctly. Just goes to show that for GXR, they also know how to be opportunistic. And even though it hasn't really been too much of the combos here for GXR, it's more about really setting things up and being so lethal in the duels. You cannot count out their game sense, their game knowledge, and their understanding of how to play things out. Simple mathematics, GXR is able to do very cleanly, and overall, with the numbers that they had, they took that round, and this is going to be interesting because pistols are a go again.
The forceful takes of GXR to overwhelm and basically neuter Hashira. Now we've flipped the switch here. We've turned the tables. GXR on the defending end. And let's see how their setup is going to fare against the Hashira, setups here as well. It's going to be a quick play there. Hatred is charging right in. There's going to be the flashpoints and aftershock, so they can't get control of that B stairs area as the quick rotation from GXR is coming right back out. But they still leave the utilities of Eman to be on the A side just in case that Hashira decides to go the other way. But they go in for the triple fake here. It seems like they're going to go A, but they double back into B, especially with that smoke coming in from Rabbit. It gives them a lot of options, and maybe they can even go for the B stairs and try to overwhelm, as Johan is going to be in for a rude awakening if he's not careful, but it's Carl to go down once again.
Yeah, Carl getting caught out, but here we go. Johan tried to play sneaky on the left side, but Hashira, they not just bring 1, they bring 4 people there. And look at this rotation to Team Hashira. They say, let's go for a quick little trip through the alleyway and catch out Georgie as we get on side. Ching though with a kill on the Envy, at least catch catching out the lurk there from Team Hashira. And it just goes to show that GXR is understanding some of the defense that Hashira loves to do. A bit of the lurk action from the Sentinel. Sure, it can work from time to time from Team Hashira, but GXR, they love a fight like that, and they love to take advantage of a man being down. But it's 4v2. Ching though with a beautiful shot onto Hatred. Eggs in the meantime with a kill onto Eman. And these positions right now for Hashira just looking to be so difficult for Ching. How will he even do it? Can he go for a 180 as soon as he peeks? Says hello already. Look at that. Flicky left, flicky right. Turning things around. His mouse has to be flying through the sidelines, through the mouse pad and more. But the execution is finally there. The efforts will go to waste as Jeremy will shut him down. And Hashira takes a pistol round of the second half.
This is something you don't watch or witness with some of our Filipino teams. When you're on split on the attacking side, you think that your only option is to go through both of the mains on B heaven or ropes into A heaven. But some teams don't realize that when you can pierce through and get the B stairs control and rush out there, it allows you to traverse and basically dodge every single utility that's set from a KJ, because KJ won't really set anything for B stairs. It's always going to be on the heavens or on the mains, and it allows Hashira, at least for the pistol, to bypass all of that and basically take the side. I really love that play. And now Georgie, not gonna be in that corner once again. The Bucky, my God, Hatred just gets slapped in the face, and I'm sorry for that reaction, guys. That is just way too painful, and GXR knew what was up. So difficult to deal with, especially here in Split with all of this CQC close quarter combat.
That's right. Second to the last day, we're gonna get this. I promise you. Second to the last day. Never again after this stage 2 week number 1, but might as well go out on a high, the Bucky says. And Georgie, that is big, because Hatred going down just like that, allowing GXR to fight back a little more. And Georgie's not done. He's jumping around, going for the right clicks. He is going to get fended off, though, by a bit of that flashback. But Georgie, he's got to kill Jeremy, though, with a backstab there to get to. Making it 3v3 right now. Johan very low on the HP. And Ching, he might be coming in soon. He is forced out by the paint shells, though. Still staying inside the spokes. And come on, GXR. They get another one on the board with the Bucky. Jeremy, in the meantime, with 3 so far. He's run out of bullets. He'll be there to protect his teammate. It's now all eyes on Johan. He's hiding on the inside. Question is, though, can he do anything? No, it's not going to happen. The spike wasn't planted as of yet. Now it's going to be there. Well, hopefully we can refresh the icon there. But it's 9-5. Hashira. Scary round, but they still make it work.
They knew what they had to do. Those smokes were definitely for the favor of the Bucky, but since Hashira had enough time, they didn't need the pressure of planting the spike. The spike planting noise, the spike planting threat was more so that GXR will be in a point in their minds that they have to push out and try to catch, make these Buckies work for them. But Hashira, calm, collected, and punishing with the Spectres at that range. There was a lot of damage, but it was not enough at that particular distance to really make things work. Now Hashira with a quick pull on that trigger though, but Ching and Eman strike back once again. Hatred is going to be on the back of the side here. And he's going to be piercing in with the help of Inbi, but he leaves his teammate in a crossfire that is about to dissipate as soon as that smoke comes off. But Carl knew where the oppressor were. There is going to be one underneath of Rafters, and Hashira got to go back to the drawing board because that was just heavily countered by Galaxy Racer, still saving 4 of their members to go into this next round.
Galaxy Racer making it nice, but we'll see if they can win it twice in a row. Because GXR, they got the guns in that round. Hashira now gonna be looking to play something a little bit different. Since they don't have as much money as they would like, though, they are considering a bit of that save. Then again, still have some rounds to give versus GXR, but you don't want to let a team like this get closer to your score line. 13 kills though for Georgie, 11 for Ching, but Jeremy with 19, Inbi with 16. Just goes to show the clutch really for both sides is still into play for pretty much the same players. And Jeremy right now, he's doing it again. Give this man a raise, give this man a duelist, and Hashira can really make quite a show from the entries that he will get. That's the first takedown. Hatred though has fallen in return. It's still difficult straight here for Team Hashira. They're unleashing the showstopper. Question is, who's gonna get a target? It will be the Jets, and as soon as Jeremy sees Ching dash over to the east side, he's like, I wish I had the showstopper now. Ching gonna be able to get to, looking for the cleanup. Georgie and Emma do so instead, and that's gonna be that. GXR, another round on the board, and the outsmart play there from Ching. Gotta give it to that matchup.
Jeremy just did not have any information on where to really utilize his showstopper. Because the thing about showstopper is, I feel like if you use it from a lower height going up top, it doesn't explode as well as you think it is for that AoE. You have to hit something first for it to blast, and there wasn't really much options for him where he was, so he was playing more of that contact play. But he went up against the worst possible target, which was Ching on the Jet, able to utilize that dash of his to get out of way. And even if he wanted to go for the punish, there was still Amix, or rather, sorry, not Amix, but Carl that was right beside him that can go for the flash and go in for that punish. Now, tactical pause will be used, and I'm pretty sure this is Hashira trying to figure things out. And look at that nice little play there. This was, I think, on one of the other rounds for Hashira, Jeremy knowing through the Buckies that he can just use his satchel play to go all the way around because everybody was looking towards the back of the site, back of a pillar there, and it was just ready to go for a quick little engage with his, of course, raise plays.
This was the second round of the second half, Mr. Asarai, and yeah, the Buckies, they made that round very scary. But then again, we are not done. That's an interesting painting. Hello. He's giving us a thumbs up. Where is he even? It's like a hot spring or something. I think it's probably... Is that a card already, or will it be a card for your profile? That's the question there for the game. Tech Pause, as you mentioned, GXR feeling it yet again. One round for Hashira, and they might be able to turn things around. Technical pause now, apparently, so hopefully everything is a-okay. Like, there have been a bit of issues, I'd say, for this game, and we wouldn't want to be robbed of a stellar matchup because of things not really panning out to par. But then again, we'll see though if GXR can keep this up, go for the tie, go for the comeback, and look to make it work. But Hashira, I said it a while ago at the start, and they ended up proving it right still. 7-5 was the scoreline. They still had the advantage, but a score like that, a little too close for comfort on a map like Split. GXR, they should be proud of the half they had a while ago, and now they're on the defense, and they're gonna be the ones looking to station, looking to hold the line, and looking to play the comeback again.
They have the money to buy as well. It's only going to be a Rabbit on this Spectre, but his support is... His utility is more important here than his ability to frag, at least for now, since it's been Jeremy and Hatred's connection to really pierce in through these particular sites for the moment. GXR, they've done a really good job at just kind of countering Hashira when they try to pierce right in, but that was because I believe Hashira wasn't up to par in terms of their weaponry. But now that they do have these 4 rifles, it should change just a tad bit more here, Dax. But the one thing I'm kind of afraid of is they haven't really gotten to the point where they set things up compared to what GXR was doing on their attacking side. It's more of been Hashira just going for these blitz plays that try to overwhelm, and GXR is starting to figure things out. They got 1 kill on the GXR roster, but that doesn't stop them, and Hashira used too many, and then when the postman comes in, they're not really capable of taking down Georgie or Ching just because the flashes for Amix, I think, has already been expended. Maybe now they're going to take it slightly slower and conserve their utilities for that later stage, because the real threat isn't really Carl, Johan, or Eman. It's Georgie and Ching, who can procure multiple kills if they spot you, and they can always reposition, and you cannot punish them for it. That's how good they are, and that's how well they play these particular duelists of theirs, of their choosing.
It's just so stellar, right? Honestly, we're in first rate here, and this has really been quite a show so far in Challenger Stage 2. Just feels like, okay, Stage 1, people feeling it out. It's like, oh, this is the official tour. This is now what we rely on. Because last year, community tournaments, they popped out, and there was, of course, some amazing setups, some amazing productions, and really some stellar communities, some stellar entities that brought Valorant to a good spot coming into this one. But now, right, Predicate, we're good to go, and we have an official structure. In stage number 1, it was a bit of that feeling out for many of the teams, and it was just still the Bren show. But here, already, week number 1, stage 2, this is the competition that we've been expecting. This is really the matches that we've been loving so far, and it was a long day at the office for us yesterday, and if this keeps up, it's gonna be another one. Will this now be the standard of the Philippine scene? Is the gap going to get closer not only to Bren, but also to every other single team? That second slot right now in any kind of Philippine power rankings is up for grabs. And every single team that we've seen so far has been a contender. But my, oh my, The quarterfinals have been so hot. The semifinals are going to be interesting. So, guys, a quick little recap as we're still in the pause. It is GXR versus Hashira right now. After this one, we'll be having Bren versus Empire, a rematch to remember, and you wouldn't want to miss that. After that matchup, whoever wins this long game, they're going to be facing off against the wild card, the wonder child of 6045 Pirates, and you wouldn't want to miss that as well. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be the playoffs finals, and whoever wins that, well, then there's the champions for week number 1. No slots yet to the Challengers Finals, if I am not mistaken. We're not going to Iceland yet, guys, but the end of all of this, really standing a chance to represent SCA in a LAN? Come on, where else can you get it besides here in the Challengers Philippines?
Yeah, man, who wanted to get into Iceland, right? I mean, I do, but I'm not a player, so it all starts here because we've done with the Masters already. We've done with Masters already, but you know what? For the moment, we are gonna still be on a technical pause. You know what? This is the break that we need because we've been casting. What is this like the first series?
Yes,
this is the first series, isn't it?
We're
Oh my
not done.
gosh, man, we've.
I want to be done so I can take a break, after. But I guess we have a podcast. This is the if there's the updraft at the start, the Predator, right? This is the tailwind. This is the chase. I always Filipino termed up the pahabol, basically, right? This is just suddenly there's a break here, so let's go with it. So, how can we sound analytical? Overall, you see the stats there. Jeremy does have 20 kills, and I agree. I like that a lot. You didn't make a point, but honestly, there's just so many points that we have made already, and it really boils down to just how Galaxy Racer is going to play things out on the defense, how Hashira is going to play on the offense. And I really feel like it's not just the battle of the duelists anymore here, Mr. Asterai. It's the battle of the breaches. I mentioned it a while ago, but I do want to hammer home on the fact right now. Hashira is the one, I'd say, more experienced playing with the flashes, that they love to play it on pretty much any single map. But GXR, owing to their AA days for Carl, he likes to play breach, but just on split. Any other time he plays the Sova, and they are playing the Lear, which is a bit telling. Now, sure, the Empress is amazing, the orbs are useful, and the Divisive Bar mechanic is wonderful for a guy like Georgie. But you can always ask also, why not play something like the Phoenix for the curveballs? And that might be the point of contention. Hashira, I mentioned it before, these guys are willing to go for those riskier flashes. Sure, it blows up in their face sometimes, but it's just because of their experience, and it's just because they feel like that they can inch ahead from the competition with those plays. But GXR, I'm fully expecting these flashes to be safer. They're going to be using Lears instead when it's going to be the Ching Georgie show, right? And if Hashira can find more opportunities with that breach, can get more use of things like the Rolling Thunder also, then I think that's going to be the edge for them to run away with it. But in the meantime, GXR, let them do GXR things, and this defense is going to hold steadfast to give them the rounds, give them the tie, and then give them the win. I think that's really the show here.
Yeah, it seems like there has been some ways. And, to go back to what you were talking about with the Phoenix, I feel like just a lot of teams as of the moment don't know how to incorporate the Phoenix just yet. And again, I always keep putting this as an example because they're the only ones I know that utilize the Phoenix as well is Bren, especially with Borkum. And the reason why I think Phoenix isn't as well utilized is people just don't like the way that Phoenix has to flash right in and then set things up for himself. But they also don't give that much respect that you can always get orbs, get kills, or die, and then have your ultimate so quickly in like the span of 1 to 2 rounds, and always be able to get the threat of getting kills, get the threat of getting quick information with that run it back. And I feel like that trend has only shown itself more now on the NA scene compared to the PH, where in the PH we're still starting to flesh out using these flash agents. And the gateway to that is using the breach for the moment. Maybe the sky in some cases, but we have seen breach be the more usable of the two, just because I think people like to use the Rolling Thunder, especially in site takes, where I feel like there is some merits to that. I feel like Sky or Phoenix might just be the better option, especially the playstyle, but still teams are not adjusted to it, and maybe a week or two after week 1 of Stage 2, we'll be seeing that come into fruition some more.
Yeah, and if we notice the trend so far, if you are those kind of people that love working on stats, right? You're gonna see less of the double duelist and more of the utility. We've seen single duelist compositions. We've seen the Sky, as you mentioned, the flash plays. We've also seen the Sages. And yet again, the Philippine scene, it's just like, hey, you guys like this team? Let's try to do that. You guys not like that team? Let's try to do that. And it's just all about that these scenes are getting a bit of a prototype here in the Philippine side. And that's really the beauty of watching the Philippine challengers, because if you're going to be wanting like maybe a preview of what can be Sentinels versus Vision Striker, then you can look into teams like GXR versus Bren. You know, that if that does happen, and every single team we've seen, there is an identity that has emulation on another region, on another team, and it's just them learning from the best and trying to be the best in their country, in the region, and then move on with their own identity. The Philippines has always been that melting pot of culture that many have mentioned already, and the same case here in Valorant. Wouldn't be surprised really that every little bit of uniqueness is going to be something that we're going to have coming into the playoffs. It's going to be different styles, different kind of comps, and the mirror matchup isn't going to be as common as you'd expect anymore. But besides that, just enjoy the show, guys. Enjoy the fun that we have been seeing. Do apologize a little bit for the tech pause, and we're just making sure everything is a-okay. And we don't want to rob you of a proper match between these two. If it's gonna be the wait, then it's worth the wait between Galaxy Racer and Hashira. This is only match number 1. So by this point, you're seeing that the sun is setting, and you're gonna be expecting that the night is gonna be, of course, consumed by more of this Valorant action. So don't tune on away. You have that Nick the stream, you have that Filipino stream, and we are just so very happy to have you. Tomorrow, finals to wrap up week number 1, and then we'll see you guys a week from now for the playoffs. Of course, the open qualifiers gonna be in between that, so you want to be signing up if it's still available. But finally, it's time for Tailwind to retire, Mr. Asarai. We get the Tailwind from Hatred instead. Let's speed on in, back to the action. Hashira, though, says hello to Ammon, and Hatred now opening up a side here. They have to watch out for Heaven, though, because this is going to be GXR on the high ground.
Still, they're finally able to make quick work of this one. Envy, oh, he just waited for his positioning there. He spots out one, gives away his props. Although Cheng has already been popped, he was slowed down. Carl, though, steps up to the plate with a couple of kills, and now it's a 3 versus 2. But the melting pot, as you were talking about, is another melting pot here, as the A site is just contained. If Carl can get another kill, he can overwhelm the A site with his ultimate, and then Johan can come in for the big pinch. But Johan, oh no. He is not moving and just stuck on the B site, and it might be a technical pause, and it might be GXR running, not having enough time because it's in the rules. But this is just going to be Hashira claiming this round already, and you might see, yeah, you might say that it's just something that is, you know, it might be tad on the unfair side, but it's something that you have to deal with, and Hashira will be able to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. Fair is fair, guys. We've given the side of GXR so much time, and it just happens in setups where it's online. We know the situation in the country. It's a grim reality of it. Hopefully, one day we're gonna be able to all come together. We're gonna be able to shake hands, say hello. So, you know, you're gonna be seeing me hiding in the corner because I'm a shy boy there when I'm not on the mic. But besides that, it is what it is. And Johan, he has been struggling all throughout this game. He put up a stellar effort while on Haven, and it just goes to show for GXR this team is really one to watch out for. But yeah, Split hasn't been his day, whether it's been technical or whether it's been tactical, right? It just hasn't been the answer here for the Omen. And now Hatred, he is just going to be taking command and going for the push. 10 HP though to his name. Georgie has done the damage along the way. Besides that, Ching has whipped out the operator. Here we go around with Rabbit planting the spike down. And Hashira, they say, okay, let's go for the quick takes. And this is the perfect thing to do in a 5v4. Quickly take the site, make sure that GXR cannot respond, and just overwhelm and zone them so far.
Well, it's not a 5 versus 3. They are going to be able to use the lockdown to delay GXR even further, and this is precious rounds that they need to clear out the Hashira members who are just tucked in at the back of these corners, being smoked off, being anti-flashed as well, and there's just no chance for GXR to go at this, and they're going to just be aggressively peak. No, they have to go charge right in. Ching is going to be starting things off. He does have an operator, and this is not the weapon that you would want in such a clutch moment, and Jeremy is charging right in. Carl and Emin, though, hello, actually pick things right back out. but they're not enough time, and that is going to be them knocked out in 2 more rounds. Is Hashira going to be able to bring this all the way back as Johan is still stuck on the site, and they really need him right now. GXR, maybe a hope and miracle, will bring back the controller because they need these smokes, they need these paranoias to stave off Hashira even just a little bit.
I just want to say, Hemix almost getting caught there, hopping on around like a bunny. And apparently, he's not going to be going down anytime soon. Hashira is up by 4. But GXR, the thing is, it's still a relatively new team, all things considered. As are we in a pause again? We'll find out. But, you know, that's the thing. When you have a roster that has been established by Hashira and then you have a bootcamp and everything, then they are really prepared for issues like this. If one DCs for Hashira, they're all going to be gone. That's the thing. So they are, at the very least, having that physical get-together. That's, you know, they're willing to. They've been staying with each other for quite a while already, keeping safe, basically quarantining themselves and living with one another. And you were talking about a while ago, right? How does it feel to be a boot camp? It's just really camaraderie, especially if you can build that with your teammates. If you feel like you can get along with them as people in real life and not just in game, then it gets even better coming into a set. But Hashira, the ball is in their court, and it doesn't feel like they're going to be dropping it anytime soon. GXR, they've proven their lethality yet again in that round, but Hatred, he knows it's the opportunity, and he's quickly going for the 1v1s. Alrighty, Jeremy throwing the paint shells out. Here comes Georgie going for the peek. Hatred with another kill, though. Jeremy will go down. Carl does catch out Rabbit, but it's still a man advantage here for Team Hashira because of that disconnection. Now Carl gonna be on sites and looking to find one more. Emin in the meantime still there, and that's the thing about Emin. He can really step it up when need be. Hatred, though, might get pincered here. Here comes the peek onto the corner instead, onto the side, and GXR refusing to lose. They're still alive, and they will win that round.
They're wounded, they're beaten, they're maybe even broken, but they're not defeated just yet, and they will claw, grind, they will just pull their way back as much as possible. And the distance, the gap in terms of the rounds, not really that far here, Dax. 8 to 11, that's only 3 here. And if GXR can do this, they can do it once again. The thing about that, there is a bit of change in how they've been playing. A while ago, they've been playing slightly farther back, but they're really challenging these corners now because they know that they have to peek it out. There is going to be the bump on Shing, but he does still get the kills, and it works in the end. And for the side of GXR, they thought that Hashira was just going to go and whittle down, and they do. George is going to be the one to follow through, and now GXR has come alive. It's a numbers discrepancy, but still, they will not bow down. They will not break.
GXR, this is the right call. You're playing 4v5 from the get-go, and you have incredible duelists in your roster. Ching with the ding and the ding and a ding. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. It's just going to be a jackpot there, truly for the Jets. And that is just clean up on aisle mid. HSR, they still have to respect it. 11-9 right now in favor of Team Hashira. And they are going to be having the rifles yet again, but Ching, he has other plans. He's playing the operator, and he's been peeking into the garage. That's the thing, though, for Galaxy Racer. They refuse to give up, and they're trying to prove how strong they can be. Hashira, though, respecting already what Galaxy Racer is planning. They're playing it slow, but this is a perfect opportunity for them to actually go up to the tower. And as I say that, GXR reinforcing good map knowledge as well. Good rotations here from Galaxy Racer, owing to the fact that they're down by 1 right now. And they do have to be a bit more proactive and a bit more willing to give up a single site if need be, just to find another pickoff.
Slowly going about this, they still have to respect that Cheng and Georgie are such big threats, credible threats, mind you that. There is going to be a quick little stun. He heard the drop down, but it's still going to be Georgie to reposition. Can he get out of harm's way before anything just happens? And Georgie, he's going to get the 2 kills. Hashira spots out or gets spotted with that spike already in the middle. And Hatred, he was nowhere to be seen because he's coming in on top of the ramps. He needs to find the pickoff, but it's going to be once again the utility of this KJ that stops him in his tracks. 30 seconds left into that timer, and there is not a lot of options left for the Hashira team. And look at where GXR figure it out. They immediately use the Killjoy ult, and they have to go in through this. They have to break it. They have to make something work. Or, well, smartly enough, they're going to use Rabbit to plant down that spike and hopefully do something else. They do destroy the Killjoy ult. No, just time it out. but there's not a lot of time anymore, and they have to get this spike planted down.
Yeah, they have to fight in close quarters, and Rabbit is doing it so far. Ching cannot get the hit. It's Rabbit getting two instead, and Carl is coming. Can he make it work? That'll be the question. It's just been your turn, my turn, kind of set up here for GXR in terms of the clutch, but this is just going to be now that lockdown into play. Carl does get one, but H is waiting on his side, and Hashira, they have to end the round by executing Johan, who, I'm going to say this right now, Mr. Asarai, if he has kept the gun and he has kept the armor, like, Johan, he is ready, his character rather, is ready for him to come back to just bring his soul back into that agent. And if H is doing this on purpose, I wonder where the Jet is right now. But if H is doing this on purpose and not going for, I think he might go for it this time. But they just never had the opportunity, right, to get rid of the Omen. Now they do. I would have loved it, honestly, like, personally, yeah. I would have loved it for H to just let Johan survive, just in case he does come back. But it is a competition. It is very understandable for Hashira to do that, and this is match point now for them.
Yeah. You might think you're doing, you know, a favor to your opponents,
Yeah.
but they don't want to be coddled at all.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys who play at the highest spec of competition, and stuff like this can give Hashira an advantage, and why won't they take that advantage, right?
Exactly.
In any case here, it's going to be a 12-9, and this has, I gotta say it, Dax, this is just is about to be one of the worst possible issues that have been, what's the word, clouding GXR, who was previously an iteration of the Archangel roster. But once again, they thrive in the mess, they thrive in the confusion, and Galaxy Racer do get an initial kill with the help of Georgie, but it seems like Hashira, they're on point now, they have the numbers, and they got everything up and set up for them. It's going to be that quick little play as Hatred is sweeping out the corners here. They're going to be giving away the B side as Hashira try to take it once again.
4v2 and Hashira. This is gonna be a blow up onto Envy. Carl timing it right, and Hashira losing a member just like that. But Jeremy now with a blow up onto Carl, and this is just gonna be Emin versus the world. Spike is planted, and Hashira, they're one round away from moving on to the semifinals. Can they secure it here and now? They've taken the opportunity and they've really clasped onto it. Amix in the meantime really setting it up. Great substitution for him and for the team. And this breach is really just quaking the boots of Emin so far. Turret go for the peak. Here comes the flashpoint, and suddenly it's gonna be Hatred showing on up, but Emin is gonna get on the board there. Motivation here for Galaxy Racer to play the clutch yet again. Defuse right now, look to make it halfway if ever. Amix is coming. There we go with the spray down. Jeremy will wrap it up, and Hashira will prove to be the victor in this series. A tragic end to quite a match, and you know a Galaxy Racer is gonna have a chip on their shoulder the next time. But here we go. Hashira, they will move on, they will take it, secure that top four, secure the semifinals. And that's what really these guys play for. Not only that championship, but to make it to the next week pretty easily. Not have to deal with the open qualifiers, and Hashira is going to be our victor for our final quarterfinal.
They've broken the curse. They always play on that second day, on the last quarterfinals match that we have. And now they've got it. They're going to be up for another challenge because they still have to play another best of 3 today going into that semifinals. But that was still, I think, a deserved win for Hashira. I know the chat's going to be riled up. We're going to be, actually, we're actually riled up right now that there was some issues that arose for the side of GXR, but in the end, you still have to play through that and try to do as you may. They did a lot of good things. You saw that Ching and Georgie were trying to be more proactive. They were challenging these corners. They were challenging these angles. But when you're on a map, then you're on the defending side and you're a man down every single, at the start of each round, especially on defending, you're spread way too thin and you need to even out those numbers. So that's why Ching and Georgie went for those type of plays. They had to catch off Hashira as soon as they can. It worked a couple of times, but when Hashira got wind of what was happening, they played it slow. They tried to bait in Georgie, and Ching found it on the last round, and that was it. GG.
GG indeed. Hashira, they put in the sacrifice not only in-game, but also out of it. Coming together, really risking it all, and making sure that they're all together there, and you can see that it pays off. They are going to be able to move on over Galaxy Racer, but never count out Galaxy Racer. This team is going to be a force to be reckoned with when we see them, if they can make it to next week. This has been the quarterfinals so far, and a solemn end to such a series, but in the end, it's Hashira who will move on. And we're going to be breaking down the action. We're going to be breaking down with the panel when we return. This is the Challengers Philippines Stage number 2, week number 1. We'll be right back in just a bit.
The Hashira way emerges as the one true way for that quarterfinal, taking a victory in a 2-1 score line up against none other than GXR themselves. It was a little bit sloppy, I'll admit, and we did have a lot of technical issues in between those rounds. But what did matter in the very, very end was that they got that victory time and time again. We saw great performances from everybody. Ching, not there for the first map, but stepping it up in map number 2 and number 3. Ching being absolutely amazing. But that's not to say that we didn't have star performances as well from the other players. We had holds from Jeremy, who was amazing every single time. The performance as well coming in from Rabbit with 4 kills every single time. Never getting that ace, maybe cursed. Just being able to do that right now. But I think we're ready for the interview. Just a second, are we? We'll get that confirmation in a minute. But yeah, here we are. We got Amix on the line. First of all, big congratulations, man. If you guys don't know who Amix is, one of the veterans in the FPS community, someone that a lot of people look up to so much. Glad to have you on the Hashira roster. I see Rabbit over there as well. Congratulations on your win. How are you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm feeling great. My teammates scared me. But at least, support ko sila maayos.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of great flash plays from that breach. Real quick question for you, Amix. How does it feel to finally get back into the competitive spotlight here? We know you took a long break. The last time we saw you compete in a tournament was like last year. How does it feel to finally be in a boot camp, to compete again, get back in it?
Medyo pressuring. Dahil kasi mataas expectation ko sa sarili ko. So, alam mo yun, lahat iniisip ko kung paano mag-improve, ganyan. Right now, yun, I feel pressured. Pero at the same time, nag-enjoy naman ako.
Definitely pressure, something you have to fight off as a professional player.